New Jersey coffee is me right now. Words. New Jersey coffee jug is dreaming right now.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Come on in. Make yourselves at home. NJ here. NJ Coffee Junkie. People call me NJ. Coffee Junkie. You can call me any of those things, but mainly people call me NJ. And welcome to the Shamblecraft Server. We are back here yet again. We were here last night. We're here again today because we have some work to do. Donut and Micah, welcome. Come on in. For those of you who might be lurking or new to the channel, come on in, make yourselves at home. Welcome to my cafe. But we are here on the Shamblecraft server. We are standing in front of my temporary trailer that has been my trailer now for months? Like 2 or 3 months? Hey Rex, welcome. Come on in, make yourself at home. So, yesterday we were doing some testing, working on the Charmed inspired house, which is going to be my base, realizing that if I'm going to do this in a certain way, it is 3 layers too short, because I have to be able to go up these stairs and into this space. Now, I could easily go ahead and dip this down, but I don't want to. I really want this to be level. And once I'm done, this trailer here is going to go, and we're going to smooth all this out. We're going to make this a nice pathway so that people can find me. But we're also, with the coffee cup house, we're also taking it a step further. And we're putting in the common area, and we're putting in the dormitories. We're not going to do all of that tonight because that's going to take me weeks. But one of the things that we are going to do is we are going to fill in all this space with some stone that I have downstairs. We are going to pull up all of these shulker boxes that are lying here and grab those chests and their contents and put them downstairs where they belong. We also have a few other things that we need to do. But first things first, we need to head on over to the creative world because we're going to try something new tonight. This is the Charmed House. This is basically what I was looking at the last time to figure out how much terracotta and crimson wood I'm going to need. And boy howdy, I'm gonna need a lot of it. But one thing at a time. We're actually gonna take a field trip back here to this other build, which is what my shop is going to look like when I'm done. My server mate Mickness helped me with this. And yesterday I went through and treated the space like a cross stitch and documented line by line, starting at the top and working my way down, how many blocks of each type I would need in order to replicate this. And I did this because, well, A, I want to make sure I do it properly, and then B, if I'm going to use replay mod or anything like that, I want to be able to create a time lapse that is just going to work. Now, obviously, we don't need all of this. I actually made this way too wide. So we're just going to get rid of all this. And like I said, this is a creative world, so I want to be a little bit careful. I also know that the sides here are exactly the same. And I have my pen and I have my paper. And we basically know the sides are going to be the same. So if I jot down what's on one side, knowing full well that the first row is already covered by the front here, I just have to worry about the 15 remaining spaces. So join me here as I try to figure out some things. Why am I holding... Oh, okay, hold on. I gotta clear some stuff from my inventory here because this is from the last episode that I did. So bear with me, we're going to do a little bit of counting. Hey Vid, welcome, come on in. So we have 16 rows, but we know that, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The bottom 8 rows, so 9 through 16 are all brown. So that helps. So it's really about these remaining rows here, and we know that we don't have to worry about the first part going down. So if we look at this, and I'm actually setting it up right now. And when you're doing builds like this, and you're trying to take advantage of your server mates' kindness and generosity, and saving you hours on end, which, by the way, thanks, Mick, if you're watching. It's just, it's so good. It's so much easier. And I wish I could show you this grid. I don't use a face cam, and it's nights like this where I wish I did, because I'd be able to hold the sheet of paper up. But my hair is still wet. My hair is still wet from showering a little while ago. And I'm going to lower the music because it's really loud in my ear, and I feel like I'm being drowned out by it. So if I'm being drowned out, just please tell me, because that would be awesome to know. Okay, let's get back into this. So for row, hold on, row, up, I want to go up. There we go. So we know that the first 2 rows are all brown, and then rows -1, 1, and 2 are the gray. Beth says, howdy, just got to listen. I joined to listen. I got to wake up early and be in the pool at 7. I'm an employee now. We can't have group sports in Michigan. Well, that makes perfect sense that you can't have the group sports, Beth, but it is always good to see you. Always good to see you. So -1, 1, and 2 are gray, because that's going to stick out. So I got to remember that. And that's for the first 2 rows. So we have brown all the way across. That's fine. Before school. Yeah, I totally get that. Just do what you can to stay safe, as always. And I'm glad you checked in, and I hope that you're doing okay. Alright, so we're gonna make pink number 5 here on my grid. And we have, do we have one all the way down? No, we don't. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first 4 rows have brown, the next 2 have gray, that one has black, like before, and then another black. That makes sense. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, hold on, 1, 2, okay. Donut says I have to make my own test worlds, otherwise lag. I'm just basically doing this so that I don't, so that I just remember where things are. And then, so, 3rd row has 2 pink, and then 2 pink, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, oh, that makes sense. So all the way down. And now, Bid says I should do test worlds instead of just going for it and messing up a bunch. One day I will learn. Well, this world was provided to us on Shamblecraft, and it was very kind of Fally to do that for us. Okay, so that's too wide, going all the way up. Alright, very good. And then pink, 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 and then brown, brown, and then brown all the way down. Okay, that makes sense. Moving over, on the other side of the gray, we have, let's see, we've got the 2 rows of brown, right? Oh, it's only one row of brown up here. Okay, so next, so above the pink, we have our brown. No, yeah, no, wait, hold on. So this top row here is brown. And this bottom row, okay, so that is gray. Alright, so that's like light gray. Light gray, not dark gray. Light gray is 2. Dark gray is 6. Okay, that makes sense. So there's that. And then 1, 2 pinks in rows 1, 2, 3. So rows 3 and 4 have uh, pink. If you give me a second vid, I will actually do a shout for him. So let me do a shout. If you hit exclamation point shambles, I believe it is. Please work, please work. If it's not shambles, it's shamble. Ding, it's shamble. So you can go ahead and follow, you can join us on the Shamblecraft server. All the information is there. If you do not know one of us, you will have to wait 48 hours to be whitelisted. And then you'll be given whitelist access on the server. If you want to follow Real Fally, because he records and streams from this server, please go ahead and do so. His content is outstanding, and he actually is legitimately one of my closest friends. So I can't say enough about him. I really can't. And I'm gonna screw this up somehow. I really am, because I'm thrown off by the gray. So let's see. Oh, because the 9 to 16 is all brown. That's why I'm thrown off. So the last 4 of 8765. 8765 is light gray. So that's 2, 2, 2, 2. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13. I screwed this up, so 15, 16. No, wait, that's 17. That doesn't count. You would think I know how to make a grid. Can I please have some derp in chat right now? Because I mean, you're gonna have you're following this at your own expense, and I appreciate you all for following along this derp. This is just derp. This is quality derpage. Quality derpage. I think Ren would be proud. Ren would definitely be proud. So we have 2 rows of brown, and then we have the pink. So Earth. Alright, hold on. I should be able to follow a grid, and I think I'm just confused. Oh, because I need to spread this out. So this is... hi Pure Shady, welcome. And Myson, how are you? So there's 1 layer of brown, which I did not document. And I think that's what's throwing me off right now. So let's go back over here. No, Shady, I am playing on Java. We do have ways for Bedrock players to play, but this is primarily a Java server. So 2 across is... and then the 4. So I just have to make sure this adds up to 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. How did I screw this up? I mean, seriously. Oh, thank you for the posture check. I'm slouching a little bit. Let me stretch my shoulders out while I sip my tea. Tonight's tea is cinnamon apple, or apple cinnamon. Pure Shady, if you go to the link that I posted earlier, you'll find out information about Shamblecraft. Here, I'll post it again for you. And then you'll have to wait 48 hours to be whitelisted. So just as an FYI for you. And the dark gray is 2 wide, 4, 5, and 6 high. 2 wide, 4 high. Got it. Okay. I want to say I can do this, and I'm actually going to take a screenshot so that I don't screw it up. And we know it's the same on both sides. Now it's this part that I have to make sure of. And so in looking at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I'm going to flip the page, right? We're going to start building this and we're going to test out replay mod in about 5 minutes. I just want to make sure that I'm getting these measurements correct. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 to 16 is brown. Okay, 7 to 16 is brown. All the way across. 1, 2, 3, 4 brown. 4 brown. Then 1, 2, 3, 4 light gray. And then I should have done it this way the first time. That would have been ideal. Breast brown. That would have been smart. But this is what happens, you know, this is what happens in Minecraft. Like, this is a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff, and if you watch Joe or Tango or any of the Hermits or basically anybody who records, you see a lot of their behind-the-scenes stuff, and you see, you know, how much work it takes to get this done. 3 brown, and that is for 2 rows, and then it's 5 brown for the next 2 rows. 5 brown. Myson says the coffee grind is real. That is most definite. 3 brown, and then 5 brown. Hey Mosel, it's good to see you, dude. How are things? As you just asked me. Things are pretty well. I am just trying to set this up. Hey Surfer, welcome, come on in. I'm just trying to set this up so that I can test replay mod. Because I have replay mod now, and I'm just like, okay. I'm gonna give it a shot. So then this is 2 light gray. And then brown, 1 light gray, brown, 1 light gray, and then brown, 1 light gray. Okay, so I think that we are set to go, and we are gonna do this over here. We are gonna work with replay mod, and we are going to see about recording for the very first time so that I can think of that. Mosel says, righto, I've been busy working on things for Tango. Should be fun. I have no doubt that it will be. I have no doubt that it will be, knowing you. I have been obviously working on things for Joe Hills. For those of you who don't know, I am Joe's project manager, so I work for him part-time as a way to help him get organized now that he is a full-time YouTuber, something that he has been striving for since before I met him, more or less. And I've known him for a little more than 2 years now. We met at a convention near Philadelphia back in the day. And so yeah, I've had my hands full helping him out in addition to all the stuff that I've had to do for work and stuff like that. We actually just switched to a work from home. We just switched to a work from home situation where I believe it was brown wool. We'll grab a couple of stacks of those, and we'll put those in the survival thing. We'll start with one for now. I can't do math very much, so I want to make sure that I have enough brown wool. So let me get in there and let me get like 5 or 6 stacks. Actually, this is a big build, so I'm just gonna take 10 stacks of brown wool. You would think that my math isn't terrible, but it honestly is. It seriously is. I try for it not to be, because I can be better. Alright, so 10 stacks of wool is plenty. We'll put 3 in the hotbar for now. We're going to need at least I'm gonna get 2 stacks of... Hold on. No, I'm gonna get 2 stacks of pink wool, just to be on the safe side. I also need gray wool. The light gray wool, I'm gonna grab 2 stacks. The gray wool, I will grab 1 stack. Although, wait, I don't think that... Yeah, that's dark gray wool. Yeah, that's the right wool. Very good. Okay, I need to grab actually a stack. We'll throw that out. Yeah, it's arithmetic and mathematics. It's not mathematics, it's arithmetic. Yeah, I know. I know. Surfer says, I'm all locked and loaded for the winter storm tomorrow. We are not, because we decided not to go to the grocery store tonight. We are going after work tomorrow, and I am dreading it. I'm considering ordering groceries and having them ready for us when we go pick them up, because I don't want to have to deal with the crowds. Donut says, I might want to look at my base on Half-Calf Craft. Sometimes it is causing some lag. I have no idea how, because I have not put anything in there. There's literally nothing. It's just an open space that I dug out. I haven't done diddly squat with it. Could it be the heart that's in front of it that you built for me? Okay, so black. I'll grab 2 stacks of that. Actually, I think I only need a stack, so let's see what happens. Why are there chickens everywhere? In my base? Somebody must have pranked me and not said anything, because I don't have chickens in my base. If there are chickens in my base, murder, like, take them out. Surfer says, Vid says it was 48 degrees today. And Surfer says it's going to be 20 tomorrow with about 5 to 12 inches of snow. Yeah, we're getting anywhere between 8 and 18, so it's like, we're kind of stuck. And I just realized this is diorite. This is diorite. This is not white wool. This is diorite, so I have to go grab diorite. But I only need a stack of diorite. So I'm going to take one of the gray and one of the pink and put that away. And move this over and put that there. Okay, so we know that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, that's why I got so confused about the sides, because they are 12 wide, not 16. That's why I'm like, wait a minute, why am I 4 short? Because it's 12. This is why counting is important, everybody. And why it always happens on my streams. Okay, so yeah, and Surfer, I have to wear a dress tomorrow because I did all the laundry today, so none of my warm pants are clean. So I am praying that we can just go to the store, pick up what we need, and leave. We have a small grocery list, and I'm not afraid to use it. And I'm not, and thankfully I'm working in the office tomorrow, but then I'm not working in the office again till Monday. So I'm not going to have to worry about snow till Monday. And I don't want to leave the house until Monday. So I'm hoping that we can get that situated. But here's the moment you've all been waiting for. We are... I need to put some weights on that thing. You get 3 inches a year on average, Vid. Ooh, wow. Okay, you're lucky. You get enough to ensure the grocery stores sell out of bread and milk. Well, everyone wants French toast on snow days, so... Yeah, I need to put some weights on that thing. That's very true. Liverpool hasn't had snow in a few years. Oh, wow. Okay. Alright, so here we go. I just have to remember how to do this. Alright, so we are going to start... Okay, so we are recording in replay mod. And I need to make a space that is 16 wide and by 12. So what I'm going to do first... Thank you, Donut. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Alright, so then 1, 2, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then... Okay, so we have the base, and now we have to fix the front. Is that right? No, it's not. Okay. Okay, I need to look at my... I should have done this from upside down. Okay. Okay, so I know that this back side is all brown, so 2... 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Oh, dang it. I have to remember also that I'm going to be building this in survival. So I'm doing the cheaty bits a little bit, but that's totally fine. But yeah, tonight we are testing using replay mod because I will be building this shop on Shamblecraft, and I want to make sure that the replay mod works before I use it. Hi, Leadoff Cloth. How are you? Welcome. Come on in. Make yourself at home, and I'm just going to put on Streamlabs so I can see what just happened. Let me see the content hub. No, that's not it. That's not what I want. I want the dashboard. Alert, recent events. Ah, Chrono, I thought that was you. Thank you for the host. How are you? Good to see you. Rainbow Sheep, that's right. Okay, so we are doing a basic test of replay mod. Good evening, how are you? We are doing a very basic test of replay mod. So this is for the one side, and 7 to 16 on the back is brown, so I have to go 2 more rows. I am testing replay mod in building a shop in a creative world first. Well, building the exterior. Can you guys hear me, by the way? The music's really loud in my ears, and I'm trying to make sure that you guys can hear me. Hey, Dat Boy! How's it going? Alright, so that is as it should be. You only barely hear the music. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna turn the music up a little bit, and then turn it down in my ears. There we go. It was really deafening, good grief. Okay, so this is supposed to be 9, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 16, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Okay, so it's supposed to go up to here. You can hear music. There's no chance of it drowning me out at this volume. Well, that's good. It was just so loud in my ears. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to practice building and not needing to go to the other thing. I will turn the music up, though. Just a hair. There we go. And obviously, the replay mod's probably going to pick up that I'm in the menu at times, but that's fine. But we are basically building my cowsignment shop, which is going to offer various leather goods because I have a zombie farm, a zombie XP farm. And it's also going to offer refurbished armor that I've been using levels to cultivate and repair. So it's like secondhand armor. Any gold armor, I think I'm going to just leave in a chest, in various chests in the nether, and let people use it in case they run across hoglins and piglins or whatever. Okay, so I think it's going to be cool. 1, 2, and hi, Sir Think. Welcome. 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the back is supposed to be like that, and obviously I'm doing this completely wrong because I set this all up incorrectly because I'm a derp, but it's totally fine. Vid, you can name that cow whenever you like. I'm just, like I said, I'm trying to test out replay mod. Hey, you lurk all you want. You're fine. I'm just not doing this right. Okay, so 1, 2, 2 diorite, 2 light gray. Okay. So 1, 2, 2 diorite, 2 gray. And then these 3 are open. These 4 are open, and then this is 2 gray. So this is open. This space here is open. Alright, so far so good. Vidmaster says, I can't decide if I want to name my cow NJ Cow Fee Junkie or Sweet Cowaline. I think both are pretty neat. Oh, I should have written this backwards. Let's see. 1, 1, 3, 3, 2, 2. 4 are open. 2, 2, 3, 3, 1, 1. Okay, so we need to put brown there and there. Okay, very good. And then 14 is the same. Okay, so there's that. 13 is 1, and then more diorite, and then the light gray. Mosel says, sadly, talking of sleep schedules, it's 2:40 a.m. for me, so I'm gonna head to bed. Night, folks, have a good stream. Thank you, Mosel. It's always good to see you. Mosel is one of, not just a wonderful person and an awesome mod when he can pop in, but he also has created all of these different emotes from the sub emote. Hi, Yergi, speaking of awesome mods. Come on in. So there's this one, And then there's the Sweet Baby Hamsters one, which is a personal favorite. The Hype emote, the Hug emote. Mosul has made all of them. The only one that he did not create was the Welcome one, and that was made by Space Dorito. So, thank you, Mosul. It's always good to see you. Alright, so we've done level 13. We need the light gray here and here and here. Nope, here and here, I think. And then here and this doesn't look right, but I'm gonna fix it. Okay, yeah, so this one and this one are not supposed to be there because they're supposed to be 2 is light gray and then black. Alright, hold on. I very much screwed this up somehow. I think this is supposed to be black? Yeah, it's supposed to be black. Alright, so that's supposed to be black, and then black again. If I memorize this pattern, I will be in really good shape. I really will. Alright, does that look well, okay, so the brown wool is not the right material. It's gotta be brown concrete. So I derped that. And then this is that. Alright, so make a note. Brown concrete. Let's see. Then it's brown across here. And then... Dang it! Come on. And then diorite across the top. Yeah, I know. I screwed something up. I'm looking into it. Yeah, it's supposed to be one lower. Hold on. Well, actually, wait. Not that. So that... Like I said, this is just a test. So, if I screw up, it's totally fine. It's just gonna be a pain in the butt when I actually go to record the episode. So there should be light gray here and here and here and here, and then the diorite comes across the top. I made this wider. I already know it. Because it's supposed to go across the black. It's a different color because I grabbed wool instead of concrete. And of course I screwed this up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So 6, and then 7, 8, 9, and 10 are open. And I did that. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's correct. That's absolutely correct. So that tells me that I screwed something up over here. I don't think I did, though. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I don't think I screwed that part up. Let's see. Yeah, no, I didn't screw that up at all. For once. And then this is supposed to be brown. Yeah, it's starting to... It looks wider and shorter, and I don't know why. Hold on, let me zoom out a little bit. I mean, am I losing my marbles here? It looks the same, but it looks bigger. I don't understand. Is my perspective just garbage? What? It looks smaller and squat. Hold on. I think I counted incorrectly. 1, 2. So we know that this is 6, and this is 10, and this is 6. That's 16. 1, 2. I counted this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it's the same exact size. But I'm completely confused as to why it looks so short and squat. Huh. You know what? Hold on. Here's what it's definitely like the white dress, black dress thing. So hold on. We are Hey Sassy, welcome. Come on in, make yourself at home. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are going to go into the replay viewer. It's gonna save the file. We're gonna hit done. And today is the 15th. So this is the latest file. It's good to see you, Sassy. Hi. So I don't know if y'all follow Sassy at all, but you need to. I don't get to visit her streams as much as I'd like because, you know, life is life. But go give her a follow, please, because she's amazing and she's wonderful and she's my friend. And you want to follow my friends. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Enjoy the lurk, Sassy. We are looking at using replay mod for the first time. And so let's see. Okay, so I need to... Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna pick add a keyframe, and we're gonna pick a let's see. We're gonna add the keyframe here. So that's 2 keyframes. We have the time keyframe and then the position keyframe. We're gonna put the position keyframe here, and then we're gonna put one. We'll put one here, just for the heck of it, because we need to see. And now we're gonna see what happens. So let me... No, hold on. I see. So I need to set the camera path. Empty knowledge! Hi! How are you, dude? How's everything? It's so good to see you. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Oh, that's so sweet of you. To Myson, Cookie Dunkers, Sir Think, Ken, and Vid, thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. How are you? Long time no see, as the pings go off in my ears. We are trying to we're trying to figure out replay mod for the first time. So I am terrible at it because I've never really used it before, and I think I just broke it. Yep, I broke it. I broke it. Oh no, I don't know how to stop it. What did I do? Oh no, oh no, oh no, this is bad. This is so bad. I don't know what to do. Hold on. This completely broke, this broke me. Hold on. I don't know how to get out of it either. Help! I pressed all the buttons. I have no idea what happened. I don't know. Alt F4? That was a mess. So Empty, you just came in right on time. That was definitely a rip. Oh no. Oh, I wanted this to work so badly. Oh. I really want to try and build my cow shop with it, because I've been waiting to use replay mod for so long, now that I've figured it out. Oh my gosh. It's a video editor built into a mod of a video game that isn't built like this. Yes, please save it correctly. Thank you. Alright, so we're gonna try this again. Pray. I'm gonna have to do more of this. I'm gonna have to do more of this. I'll ask him. I can ask him. So all I'm doing is playing. I'm just letting it play. And I think I'm gonna just speed it up a tad. Let me pause it. Let me move the speed to 6 and see if that does anything. Yurgi says, I remember the first time I tried to use replay mod, I had to get in a call with a friend and have them walk me through it, step by step. Okay, so I think if I remember correctly, I have to add the position keyframe here. And camera path started. The video by Pixel Riffs was super helpful. If you can help me find it, that would be great. So if I went to 8 times the speed, it doesn't seem to be letting me do anything. Like I can't turn my camera perspective or anything, so that's different. We'll add a position keyframe and a time keyframe and then go. Alright, so let's see what happens with this, because I really want this to work. And yeah. If one of you would be so kind as to plunk that in the Discord channel, the streaming Discord channel, that would be great. Where is my camera? Why is my camera doing that? This is so wild. I have no idea what I did. Render camera path. It is very nice when things work. I have no idea why it's outside of this. Okay, so okay, so we can move as we go. Okay, so play camera path from cursor position, which makes no sense. It's because I have keyframes outside of the time frames. Oh, oops. Let me move those out of the way. Yeah. Good question. Which channel do I want it in? Content creation chat room, please. Because I'll be able to find it there. Thank you! I appreciate that. And Donut, I just saw the Great Chicken debacle. Sassy says, the top timeline is the same snapshot in time. You want to move it until you want everything to not move. That's what's preventing the 8 speed. So this up here, you're talking about? So if I move this over here... Whoa, okay. That was weird. Alright, noted. Alright, so I kind of see what's going on here. It is a debacle. Thank you, Vid. I appreciate the puns. Okay, so let's see what happens with that. Oh, hey, look, it's my face. Oh, there I am. Okay. That's massively unsettling. I'm not gonna lie. Very unsettling. Okay, so now it should be playing. Hey Cosmos, welcome. Come on in. I'm messing with replay mod and failing epically. It's wonderful. But it is all good because this is how I learn. I still haven't been able to get the thing to replay. And all I want, unpause replay. I think that's what I was trying to do. I just want to see it. Top bar denotes time. You want to move it before you place the keyframe. Oh. Oh. Got it. Okay, can I not be in my head? Thank you. Okay, so... Oh, I see. Because there I am in the background. Oh, there we go. Hold on. Okay, so if I come over here... Because I'm over here now. I don't know how to turn the camera, but there I am. Okay. So, play camera path from camera position. It puts me back over here, which isn't ideal. You're still new to Minecraft playing wise? Well, yeah, I'm using something called Replay Mod, and I've never used it before. And I'm trying to figure out how to map this out. Okay, so there we go. You're totally fine, Sassy. I appreciate it. We're looking at 8 times the derpage. I love it. I think some, maybe, I don't know. It's up to you, Sassy. This wasn't bad for a first test, though, I guess. Now that we kind of have an idea. Although I forgot why I was standing there. I have to remember that this thing is 16 by 12. And the way that I jotted everything down, I should have jotted it down from the bottom up to work that way. As opposed to, or just flip my paper over. That would have been smart. Look at me go! You're so tired, only 3.5 hours of sleep? Seriously? What are you doing here then? Go to bed. So if I wanted to... See, here's the thing. I don't know how to turn the camera left or right. I can kind of go up and out. Oh, there we go. Okay. So if I did that, and then I could go ahead and then play it from there. And then pause it again. And then come around this way. Because I can't turn the camera that much. So because I want to turn it around to where it kind of... See how it's very forward? I can't turn it. That's kind of what I was hoping to do. I just really can't turn it. It's very straight on. I'm assuming that there's a trick or something that I'm missing. But I don't know. That's up to you. If you're up for it, you're in my Discord. We can... Yeah, I'm using WDAS, and I'm doing this and this and this, and it's just very forwards and backwards, but it's not like... I want to be able to turn my head, so to speak, to see it. But I guess this is how we learn. And of course, I'm not going to be able to record. I don't think I'm going to be able to record tomorrow because I want to get all the stuff in the house from grocery shopping, because, you know, we're shopping tomorrow for the storm. And I'm just like, how much stuff do we need? Because we should have gone out today. But I was home today, so normally what would happen is if I'm working from the office and Manatee comes and picks me up, the two of us will, we'll stop at a store on the way home, and that's not too bad. Anywhere between 8 and 18 inches of snow. You know, it's not going to be super terrible. But I'm in the office tomorrow, and the storm is going to start while I'm in there. So the storm's gonna start while I'm in there. So I'm just like, this is a problem, you know? This is a very big problem. Cosmos says, the reason I'm here is because I want to support my friend and their creativity. Plus, I have 24 minutes until dinner is done. Well, come on board and watch me attempt to derp this. I've already derped it because I picked brown wool instead of concrete. Oops. Unless that's brown terracotta and I don't know the difference. Oops. Yeah. So Manatee has to come pick me up from work tomorrow. And it's not a big deal. We drive a Subaru, and they're pretty resilient in the snow. Well, this is just for a test vid, so I'm not screaming over it. It's not a big deal. So, you know, I'm not worried about us getting home. I worry about us making sure that we have enough supplies for the week, the rest of the week, because I have no intention of going out the rest of the week, because I'm working from home Thursday and Friday. Now, if my boss decides to close the shop where I work, the office, that's another story. I don't think he will because enough of us can work from home. That we could manage the day and not worry about it, and that would be fine. But I don't have to go into work on Thursday or Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, I think, until at least the new year. So, yeah, this is perfect. Look at this. This is great. Recording this at 8 speed is hilarious, though. I must admit. Because I think it shrank it down to, like, 2 minutes. And if I could figure out how to build this thing... Like, ultimately, I want to practice putting it together in a way where I can memorize it so that when I do the replay mod, it'll be fine. You've tested turning, and I'll want to use my mouse and the keys together. Shift, space, and down for up. Okay, so I see the mouse. The mouse is going to let me do that. Alright, and that's the end of it, because it's at 8 times the speed, it's 2.5 minutes, which is perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to exit replay. We're going to go back into Shamblecraft. And I'm basically going to tear this down and redo it, because I want to practice doing it. And replay mod's going to be so much easier to use if I practice. And I also want to learn what materials I need. I have the entire box of materials. Everything I need is already at the shop, like the shop space that I have reserved, because Miknus left it for me. One of the things I have to say about my server mates is that they are they're very thoughtful and considerate, almost to a fault. Because when I need supplies or something else, or I'm like, you know what, I could really use this, and I think it's going to take me about 3 hours to get, a lot of times they will come over and they'll give me what I need so that I don't have to worry about it, which is pretty cool. I mean, it does get rough a couple of times, because I'm like, okay, well, what do I do now? But it's not that bad. I know that over this coming weekend, I will be working on a special project for the Christmas episode. Because I did a Halloween episode a couple of weeks ago. Like, I did a Halloween episode, that came out, I think, the day after Halloween, because I had so much trouble editing it, and I had to re-record it because all the sound went bad. My audio went to poop. So I was like, ugh, okay. So I actually, it was a mansion that a bunch of us had put together. And so, fun fact, I had to go through it twice. I had recorded everything, and the sounds and everything was off. And so it looked and sounded like garbage. And I was just like, okay, what happened? Realized what I did wrong. And then, boom. The Destroyer of Your Minds. Hello, thank you for the follow. Come on in, make yourself at home. I'm NJ, and we are on the plot world or test world or creative world of the Shamblecraft server. I'm one of the mods here. I'm one of the newer mods. I'm one of two that were brought on a few weeks ago, Sammy being the other. And we are an amazing community run by Real Fally, and we are international. We have members from all over the world, primarily Europe. I'm one of the few Americans on the server, and that's totally fine. That's actually why there's nobody else on the server right now, because pretty much everybody else is asleep, and that's kind of a good thing, because now I can work on this and do it properly and do it right. I'm gonna trash all the brown wool that I grabbed, because I forgot one of the things about being in this creative world is that I only need 1 stack of something. I don't need 10. Granted, I will be building this in in survival. I'll be building this in survival. On the Nether Hub roof, which is where our shopping district is. So I think this, because there's brown concrete and there's brown terracotta, and I think that it's brown terracotta. Yep, it's brown terracotta. So the brown concrete's gotta go. The Destroyer of Minds says, "Where have I seen your name before? You were in someone's stream the other night, I think." I hang out in a lot of different streams. You primarily would see me in the chats of Joe Hills, Impulse, Tango, Zed, Skiz. I mod for Skizzleman. Liara, Kaylina. I hang out in Evil Notions streams. I play Jackbox a lot. I join his Saturday nights after I play. After my streams. Blue Boy Fitz, thank you for the follow. Come on in, make yourself at home. I do hang out in Hermitcraft streams a lot. Actually, as a matter of fact, speaking of which, Surfer Chick, since you mentioned it. Oh, awesome. Yeah, come on in. Coffee's always brewed. Tea's always perking. That's it. Yeah, yes, Joe. I'm Joe's project manager. And as a matter of fact, on January 4th, for that stream, that night, we will be doing our quarterly or 3-month review. And so I'll be on voice with him that night to go over where things have been over the last couple of months and where he wants to go for the next couple of months, up to a year or so. And I'm really looking forward to it. I've known Joe now, like I said before, I've known him for over 2 years. We've met in person. We've hung out a bunch of times. He's easily one of my favorite people to hang out with. I really enjoy his company. He's just a really fun, laid-back dude. He really is. And he's actually introduced me, and he's gonna, if he walks in here right now, which he won't because it's Pathfinder night, but I tell this to him all the time, and he knows this, but he's introduced me to so many people. In fact, he and I are part of a charity collective called Draw for Charity. We are a group of D&Ders, gamers, and artists that come together and we do fundraisers for charity. And we've done 2 so far. And I'm sorry if I'm getting chatty. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I should introduce myself. Hello, this is me. Nice to see you. Thank you for being here. But as part of Draw for Charity, we have raised over $7,000 for 2 separate charities. We raised over $5,000 for Child's Play, which is a charity that provides games, toys, and other fun implements to hospitals and domestic abuse shelters. It's the charity that was founded by members of Penny Arcade. You see it a lot when you go to PAX. That's their charity, so they're everywhere. They're the green ones with the controller. That's their brand. And then this past weekend, we did, and that was a 48-hour stream. We're doing another 48-hour stream in May 2021. But we just did a 12-hour stream late, a week and a half ago? We did a 12-hour stream, and I played Among Us. We had artist drawings. We had an astro. We had someone who works for. Thank you for the posture check, Blue Boy. We had Gamma Liz, who actually works for NASA, talk to us about constellations and stars and things like that. And Joe actually ran a D&D campaign, a one-shot in his Death House from Season 5. And I'm really excited for what the next 48-hour stream is going to be. Oh yeah, I'm definitely doing Among Us again. And since some of you are new here, I just want you to know that I have a more regular schedule now that I'm working from home more often. Tuesdays are Minecraft. Fridays are Among Us. Sundays are Sagrada, Sunday mornings. And then I stream at other times when I can. So sometimes I'll stream on Monday, sometimes I'll stream on Wednesday. I try to stream on Thursday. I don't normally stream on Saturdays because that is my time with my husband, as is any other time when I'm not streaming. Because I try to do this pretty often. So yeah. And he plays Minecraft too. I mean, he introduced me to Minecraft. He said that all of this that's gone on, like you guys being here right now and everything, is because Mumbo taught him how to build a door. Because he went and looked for a tutorial and Mumbo had one to build a door. Manatee Gag, my husband. And when he started watching Minecraft, he started watching Mumbo and Grian, and you know, we have one of those like sticks. I have a full-time job. I'm a proofreader. But yeah, so, okay, so I'm gonna I haven't told the story in a while, and a lot of you are new here, I'm very chatty. I'm very, 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 very chatty. So, yes, Mumbo Jumbo. All because of a door. So please bear with me. I do actually build stuff. I'm just chatty. And, you know what? Hold that thought. Because I want to chat and tell you this story, I'm going to get out of this creative world and I'm going to go back to the main server because I have to place 3 rows of stone at my base to make up for the porch. So I'm going to do that while I tell the story and then we can come back to this later, okay? By the way, I've been going for over an hour, and if you've been here with me this entire time, please make sure that you stretch your legs and hydrate and grab a snack or dinner or something. Make sure that you're taking care of yourselves, please. I would like that very much. Now, in the meantime, let's pop in here and let's get ourselves situated. And I'm going to dump the garbage in my pockets and I'm going to grab all the stone I can carry. I'm just going to plunk stuff in an arbitrary chest, although I will take the rockets and the torches. I'll take those. And I'll take the ladders too. That's fine. Server Chick says, I'm chatty too. I guess it's a Jersey thing, according to everyone who's not from New Jersey. That's valid. Yeah, so I am coming to you from the great state of New Jersey. I am proud to be from New Jersey. We are a pretty amazing state. We're a state of chaos and confusion and the best pizza on the planet. Don't at me. If you've been here, you know. I don't have to tell you. We have amazing pizza. So, okay. Shut me up now. So, shut me up on pizza, because I'm gonna get hungry. And let me tell you this wonderful story. Story time with NJ. That's what this is. So basically, this was back in like 2017, 2018. 2017, I'll say. Homemade pizza is the best donut by far. Destroyer says, I'm from Texas. Nice! The Lone Star State. I have a story about Texas that's really endearing, and I'm gonna hold on to that. Destroyer, give me like 10 minutes, and then poke me and tell me to tell you the story of Texas. Okay? I'll tell you a story about Texas. I've never been there, but I've met people from there, and it's a story about someone that we met at a convention. So I'll tell you about that in a minute. So this story about my Minecraft origin was basically because of Mumbo building a door. Hey Spider, welcome, come on in. We're telling stories. And I need to break this portal, and it's going to make me very sad. Because I'm going to have to move it up 3. That's fine. So, so Manatee had been watching Mumbo Jumbo and got into some of the other hermits. And that's how he found Naked and Scared. He found Naked and Scared that way. And so he had told me that he wanted me to watch this really awesome show that he found called Naked and Scared. And I was like, alright, sure. And Impulse and Skiz's personalities just really shone through. And I loved it. I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be able to do what they do. And we ended up watching Hermitcraft, but Naked and Scared was our show. Like, every time the season came out, we would watch it religiously. And, you know, mainly make fun of Skiz. And then I ended up... Oh no, I didn't want to do that. Hold on. I can't block that. I need to put a ladder... I need to put a ladder here so that I know not to destroy that. So there we go. Yeah, I love Naked and Scared. So we would watch that every season, and I would always just be amazed at what they could do. And, you know, we used to watch Jevin back in the day. We don't anymore. Like, we focus on a few hermits. We can't watch everybody. So, whoa! Rude! Derp. You didn't see that. That's fine. It's okay. It's okay. I'm fine. We're good. Let's put a ladder here. And we'll put a ladder here. That way we know we can't go in there. I'm just gonna shake my own head. It's fine. So in any event, so we were really into all of it. And Manatee's favorite hermit at the time was Wells Knight. And I think, for the most part, other than Cho, still is his favorite hermit. Building-wise, Wells is his favorite hermit. And Wells knows this. I think Wells knows this. If he doesn't, well, if Mrs. Wells is watching, he'll know now. So what happened was, Wells was going to be at a convention called Too Many Games, which was within a reasonable driving distance to where we are. And by reasonable, I mean roughly 3 to 4 hours or less. I'm not going to say exactly where I am, but if you know it's in around Philly and I live in New Jersey, it's no more than 3 hours in any direction. But in any event, we go to Too Many Games, and it's one of those really small, not necessarily dinky kind of places, because it's in a convention center, but it's in a more rural convention center in the outskirts of Philly. And we get there, and it's super small, and, you know, people are just, you know, hanging out and stuff like that, and that's fine. You know, we're chill, we're walking around, we're seeing stuff, and we're looking for the Hermitcraft booth. And it was literally this small table. It was just a regular, like a folding table, and it had a little white and black sign on the front that said Hermitcraft, like above the table. And so we roll up, and they weren't there at first. They do. Yes, they do. Oh, thank you for the host, Destroyer. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you. So we roll up, and we're enjoying this, and we're enjoying the con and stuff like that. It was kind of amusing though. Actually, wait. I need to close this exit way up, but I'm gonna leave it there for now because the stairs are gonna go here, so I need to close that. But I digress. We ended up having a chat with them for a half hour because they were doing a panel. they were doing a panel. It was a Saturday. They were doing a panel. And so we took the field trip down, and we figured it would be a nice way to spend some time, you know, like maybe chat with them for a few minutes, and then head over to our friend's birthday party in Long Island later that day. And yes, you heard me correctly, Philadelphia to Long Island. If you're from the East Coast, you know what kind of madness that is. We did it anyway, because it was for one of our best friends. So we're just like, yeah, no, we're gonna do this. So, in any event, we end up meeting them. It was Wells, Python, Joe, and Wells's wife, Mrs. Wells. And all of them were lovely. We talked to them for a half hour. Oh, I heard something else ping. Thank you for the host, Donut. I appreciate it. And we were able to talk to them for so long that we were worried that we were jeopardizing their time, but it wasn't really as crowded, because it's more of a conventional video game conference or convention or whatever. Nope. Did it again. Thank you, Destroyer. But we ended up talking to them, and they were so chill and so nice and everything. We got along really, really well. And Joe and I and Manatee, we were talking about PAX Unplugged because it was coming up in a couple of months, and we were asked to go. We were considering going because we'd never gone, and it was, you know, again, not too far from Philly. And so he's like, "Oh, okay, cool. Yes, I am coffee junkie and I fall down holes. That is my jam right there." The motto of this channel is to have fun at my expense. I live up to that. Every single stream. You all know this. And if you aren't convinced yet, go watch my Wither stream. If that doesn't make you cry with laughter, then I am not doing this properly. Because I cried with laughter a lot, especially after the second time I lost my elytra. Yeah, it was a thing. It was wonderful. Wonderfully bad, but it was wonderful nevertheless. But in any event, so we were talking to Joe, and we're like, yeah, we're going to PAX Unplugged later this year. Are you going? And he's like, yeah, I'm going. And he's like, stay in touch with me, and you know, we'll hang out, and we'll do a meetup or something. And I was like, that's cool. That's really cool. So fast forward 6 months, we did make the party in Long Island, by the way. It was a 2-hour drive. It was ridiculous. And we had a lovely day. And we stayed in touch over Twitter, and this was June of 2018, late June 2018. And we get to PAX Unplugged in November. And sure enough, you know, because we volunteer for a gaming company while we're there. Usually, we volunteer for a gaming company. So we were volunteering the whole time, and we met up with him while we were there, while we were volunteering. We got to show him what we do and stuff like that, and we took him out to dinner. And we talked a little bit more, and we just really got to know each other a little bit better, and we just kind of hung out. It was just very laid back and chill. And sometimes it seems like, you know, his streams aren't laid back and chill because it's him, so they're not, but he really is a very down-to-earth person, and if anyone tells you otherwise, they don't know him then. But, yeah, so I ended up joining his Patreon, and I stream from his Patreon his Patreon server sometimes. I haven't in a while because I've been really focused on Shamblecraft, but I will be back there very soon. It's 7 of Mine. And, that's what it's called. It's on the same seed as Hermitcraft Season 7, which is delightful. But, in any event, so we just, you know, I joined his Patreon in, I think, February of 2019, and then I became a Realm patron in, later that year, like right before his birthday, so this was about, like, late May, early June, I think, something like that. And I got to play Minecraft, because originally I was like, I'm gonna play. And it was a mess. It was an absolute mess. I played on peaceful for like the first 6 months. I started playing Minecraft the day 1.14 came out because Manatee's like, no, you're gonna play Minecraft when 1.14 comes out, because if you play on 1.13, you're gonna have such a learning curve, you know, whatever. And I was like, okay, fine. He does deserve a lot of time off, Surfer, and I've actually talked to him about finding ways to make that happen more frequently for him. It's one of my overarching goals as his project manager, is to help him find ways so that he can take more time off to do whatever he likes. That's awesome, Sassy. What are you working on? What you said you're crocheting, right? What are you working on? Is it a gift for somebody or something for yourself, or you're prepping for the winter, or like what's up? All right, I should light this up as I go because I'm gonna get creepers all up in my business. 2 days off a week and the occasional vacation, although to be frank, it's not a good time for vacations. No, it's not. We were looking forward to seeing each other at PAX Unplugged again. We saw each other actually in February before the virus got really bad. He and his brother came to Jersey for a funeral for their grandfather, who unfortunately had passed, and he got a hold of us and he's like, "Would you like to grab breakfast while we're in the state?" And we said, "Yeah, sure." And they weren't that far from us, so it wasn't too much of a it didn't put us out or anything. It was definitely worth it to see them. And he's talked about coming to visit because he has family in state and stuff like that, as I've like mentioned. And he's mentioned seeing us on stream, so I can tell you that kind of stuff, and it's not going to be an OPSEC issue. But he wanted to do a bigger meetup, and I was like, no, you need like 2 months notice to give the location where you want to be enough opportunity to make sure that they have enough staff and stuff like that, like they have enough servers and that kind of stuff. Because Manatee and we have organized, because it's Jersey. It's Jersey, so we're gonna be in a diner. That's what happens. And we have this one diner that we go to that is a central location for all the fraternity chapters that we work with. We volunteer our time. We're mentors and advisors and stuff like that. And so we have this diner that we go to every semester, and they expect us, and we take up so much of their space that it's like we give them about 6 months notice and tell them, hey, we're coming and we're going to take up a Friday night and we're going to make you a lot of money, but we're going to be a pain in the butt because we're mostly college students. And we've been doing it since 2003. We have a great rapport with the diner. My family, Surfer says, my family and I were supposed to go to Aruba for my brother's 16th birthday. I feel so bad since that was his birthday gift and he probably won't get it till 2 years later, and he couldn't have a party either because it was in the peak of COVID. Yeah, that really stinks. Destroyer J1234, thank you for the follow. Yeah, before my dad passed, he got COVID, and he was still quarantined for his birthday. And that really sucked. We talked to him through the bedroom window for his birthday. But you know what? The first vaccines were given out today. Or yeah, they were given out today, I think, in New Jersey. And the first ones in New York were given out because New York and New Jersey are some of the hardest hit areas. We're averaging between 70 and 90 deaths a day here. And it's obscene, but we're almost through it, I think. I've read that vaccines for everyone who isn't an essential worker will be out before around the summer. Hey Key, good to see you. How are you? I hope you're doing all right. And thank you, Destroyer. Yeah, he passed away in July, and I miss him every day. And we have him and my mom settled in. We got a space for their ashes in our front room. They're in a little nook, but you can see it, and we're gonna decorate it, and it's gonna be lovely. It's gonna be wonderful, and I can't wait for us to to get that all situated. But one thing at a time. It was important for us to have a space for them first, without risking having the urns break or anything like that. And we finally took care of that this weekend. Yeah, my mom passed last year, so the last, like, I don't know, 15 months or so have been, well, more than that, like, last maybe 18 months have been just garbage. Vid says, my grandparents got in a car accident about this time last year, and my dad passed close to Christmas. It does always seems like it happens around the holidays. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna feel that. You're gonna feel that so hard, and I'm gonna just touch upon that really briefly, because I want this to be a space where we can come and chill and recognize our feelings, but also remember that we are lucky in that we have memories of all of these wonderful people who have touched our lives in one way or another. And when the sadness tries to take hold, like it's trying to take hold of me right now, I'm not going to let it. When the sadness tries to envelop you, you have to remember all those good times that you had with them. And to let that carry you through. You know what I mean? You have to let that carry you through. And my heart breaks for you, Bad Monkey. And your sister. I can only imagine what she's going through. Oddly enough, my dad passed on Joe's birthday. And I will not bring it up to him, although I didn't want to tell him, but he invited us to come do something with him, just to hang out, and I was like, nope, I'm at the hospital, this happened, and yeah, that was rough. So I apologize if I start sniffling. My grief still weighs pretty heavily, and it will for a while. Now, oddly enough, I'm going to switch gears just a little bit. And I appreciate you all sharing your stories and everything like that. And, you know, just know this is a good space and a safe space for you to express yourselves and how you're feeling. And we're going to just take care of each other best way we can. Because that's what we do here. And that's what we'll always do here. And oddly enough, now, while all of you are kind of here in part because of Mumbo's door, you're also here because of Joe Hills. Not just because I am a patron of his and I consider him a very good friend and stuff like that. And I'm very fortunate to have someone like him in my life as a friend. I consider him a friend. But he's the reason why I started streaming. And some of you may or may not know this. There are some new people here, so I'll tell this story too. And then I will get to the story about Texas Destroyer I did not forget. It's a cute story. I think you'll like it. It's simple, but it's a cute story. You know what? Hold on. I don't want to forget about the Texas story. Let's pause 1 second on the how I started streaming bit, and let's talk about the Texas story. So, I belong to a co-ed fraternity. I am a woman. They call me brother. It's fine. I prefer it. Hey, Darth. Welcome. Come on in. Make yourself at home. And we were at a convention, or national convention, one year. I don't remember which year it was. But back in the day, every single chapter of our organization would do a roll call. Basically, a little skit, song or dance, something that was like a minute or two long that basically said who you were and where you were from, and basically showing pride in being a part of this organization. And they were all lovely in their own way for various reasons, right? So I think of Texas because there was one girl, I'm not kidding, there was one girl who was by herself from one of the chapters in Texas. And we're going like, this was at least 15, 20 years ago. And she's by herself. But Texas is not a small state, and we have a number of different fraternal chapters in Texas, all over Texas. I have a lot of family there, if you will, because I consider my brothers my family. And so this one lone person from the Lone Star State gets up in front of the congregation to do her roll call. And all she says is that she starts singing, and she starts singing, "The stars at night are big and bright." That's it. That's all she said. And she didn't have to say another word. Thank you for the follow, Ian Demand. Come on in, make yourself at home. I'm NJ. It's nice to meet you. How are you? So, this girl starts singing, "The stars at night are big and bright." And the next thing you know, you hear this thunderclap. And I mean, like, almost a sonic boom, because the majority of the people who were there were from Texas. So they all stood up and clapped their hands and went deep in the heart of Texas. And it sounded like a sonic boom because there were so many of them. There were so many people from Texas there that she was not alone. And it was the coolest thing I ever saw and heard. Because it was basically more than half of the congregation. So at least 500-600 people standing up in unison and yelling at the top of their lungs deep in the heart of Texas. And I went, okay, I have mad respect, or whatever the term was back then, because we didn't have that lingo back then. But, you know, just that. And so every time I think of Texas, I want to go there someday. I had the chance to go to Austin, but we had a whole bunch of bad luck happen right before, so we couldn't go. And I was like, oh man, because I have a friend in San Antonio and I have a friend in Houston, and they were willing to make the respective drives to come see me, because we hadn't seen each other in years. Like, my one friend who lives in San Antonio, I haven't seen her since college, and that was 20 years ago. And so we were making plans to see each other, and then, you know, everything went sideways and upside down, and I had to tell her, like, look, I'm really sorry. We got pantsed. For lack of a better word and a bad slang word. We got messed over, so we can't go. Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah, don't put where exactly you live in chat, please. Although that's good to keep in mind, I guess. But that's really cool. But yeah, so I definitely think of that girl who I never actually got to meet. That was the sad thing. I was so sad because I wanted to go meet her. But, you know, I was, you know, I was just some college kid, and I had no idea how to. And this was long enough ago that we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have laptops. We didn't have smartphones. We didn't have anything. We were lucky to have email back then. Because this was, you know, I think this was the late 90s when this happened. So, we had next to nothing in terms of the modern conveniences that we have now. Oh, I'm dating myself. I'm not throwing you on this bus. I'm not throwing you on this bus. And people kind of have an idea as to how old I am anyway, so it's not a big deal. I've already been called a Time Lord 5 times this week alone, because I don't sound or look my age. And I'm okay with that. I don't mind if I look 25 and I'm nowhere near 25. It's fine. I will carry that as long as I can. Sassy says, I'll ride the bus with you. Okay, but just beware, I might be driving the bus. So, Bad Monkey says, I'm right with you. I got my first celly in grad school. Okay, very nice. Yeah, I got my first cell after college because I was working and I was helping support my parents because they had adopted my cousins, long story. And so I wanted to make sure that they would be okay financially, so I was living with them at the time. And so I would give them every extra dime I had when I wasn't paying bills. I gave them everything I had, and I would have done it again and again and again without hesitation, because that's what you do. Destroyer says, I got my first phone when I was like 10. Very nice. Yeah, I think my niece has a phone already, and she's, I think, she's close to 13, if not 13 now. Oh, I have a ton of why do I have so much cobble? I need stone. I don't want actually, you know what? No. Forget it. We're gonna use cobble. We're using cobble, people. We're cobbling this up. Let's go. We're cobbling this up because it's gonna get covered up anyway. It's fine. Darth says, wow, you sound like you're in your 30s. I kind of feel bad for the prank. Don't feel bad for the prank. Feel bad that I didn't see it. I'm gonna cobble it together. That's right. Yeah, no, don't feel bad about the pranks. I actually don't mind pranks at all. I don't. Surfer says, I see that as a major compliment. I was in my teens, and my grandpa got me a birthday card that says, happy 10th birthday, and I said thanks and didn't say a word. Big oof. Okay. When I start talking about stuff that dates me, my manatee will look at me square in the face and say, ease up there, Grandma. Because he hates being dated. He's a little older than me, and it's fine. He's a good egg. Yeah, I did have a pager. I had a pager in high school. I had a pager in high school and college. Because that was the best way for any of us to reach each other. Destroyer, a pager was a little device that you wore usually on your hip or kept in your pocket that would allow someone to send you a message. It was basically like a text message, but instead of it being a text message, it would be a number, right? It would be a number. And so someone would page or call you and with their number, and it would show up on their page on your pager, and that would tell you that they're trying to reach you. Especially if they didn't have your number, you could give out your pager number, and people could reach you that way. Vid says, oh gosh, kids don't know what pagers are now. I need a cane and a rocking chair. Get off my lawn. Yeah, doctors had pagers. Oh, Darth says, okay, I believe I know your true age group. Yeah, try me, Darth. And by the way, guys and peeps, no ages in chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hospitals still do use pagers, that is correct. My brother-in-law is an EMT. He still uses his pager. As far as I know. Maybe a candy cane and a rocking horse. That is true. I actually do have a cane. Not because, well, okay. I have a cane that Manatee bought for me because a few Thanksgivings ago, and I realize I have to get back to the other story, and I will. This is what happens when you're in my streams. A few Thanksgivings ago, I accidentally blew out my back. As in, I could not walk. My lower limbs had gone completely numb. It was awful. So I had to be carried up the stairs because I couldn't crawl up the stairs. I couldn't physically move. And so here's Manatee picking me up and carrying me as if he was an exoskeleton for me and bringing me upstairs so that I could figure out what to do because I literally couldn't move. My legs were jelly. Eventually I got better. I had to rest a lot and I couldn't work. Like this happened on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and I had to be really careful. So for Thanksgiving, I walked in with my cane, and my mom looked at me and she's like, "What the heck happened to you?" I was like, "Blew my back out doing laundry." Fun fact, when you don't separate your sheets from your comforters and you try to grab the sheet and yank, you're gonna give your back whiplash. 0-10, do not do it. Do not do it. Oh, hi, wait. Horseradish! I haven't seen you in ages! You just snuck in here, didn't you? Of course I remember you. Come on now. I haven't seen you in a hot minute, hence your name. How have you been? You been alright? You doing alright? Surfer Chick says, today my mom was showing up to work and slipped and fell down our steps because they were icy. She sprained her fist and her whole arm is bruised and swollen. Yeah, she's gonna want to make sure to get that looked at to make sure nothing's broken. I really hope nothing's broken. My coworker actually slipped and fell a couple of weeks ago and completely destroyed, like, really did some damage to his knee. Thankfully, he didn't need surgery or anything like that, but he had to work a couple of days from home because he just could not move his knee. He had to keep it elevated and iced. And still kind of does. I check in with him. I've checked in with him this entire time. But, Horseradish, it is so good to see you. Make yourself at home. I love when people come in and just, like, pop in after a while. Horseradish says, I know, and yes, I snuck in, and I'm obsessed with The Office and still playing guitar, and I've been well. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I still have to watch The Office, because I love Steve Carell. He's one of the nicest people I've ever met, because he lives in New Jersey, and he used to come into where I used to work every morning with his wife, when they were on The Daily Show together. They're both lovely. Fine, but bad bruising. Got a COVID test to check. She's negative. Oh, excellent. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. This thing is such a nightmare. I'm really glad to hear that she doesn't have it. Bitmaster says, I couldn't make it past the first season of The Office, but apparently it's the worst season. I should give it another go. I tried to do the same with Community, and I got maybe 15 minutes in the first episode, and I couldn't do it. I noped it. I was like, this is not for me. And I feel bad, because a lot of people really like it, and I just can't. Destroyer says, got to go see you later. Awesome. Destroyer, I hope I see you again really soon. Take care of yourself. Be safe. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, I know, Jurg. I know. I try to understand. If nothing else, I try to understand why people like things and why they like the things they do. And at least if I try to, you know, kind of absorb it, I want to be able to enjoy conversations with them, you know? I want to be able to understand why they like the things they like. You're very welcome, Destroyer. I really hope I see you again very soon. But yes, so... I did. This was many, many years ago when I was working in the coffee shop. He and his wife used to come in every morning and order frappuccinos. Didn't matter what the weather was. Like every morning, really early, because they would, I think they were driving into the city to go to the Daily Show offices or whatever. And they were the sweetest people. I've met a bunch of celebrities because being in New Jersey and being in between New York and Philadelphia and not too far from Pittsburgh, you're going to see a lot of people and you're going to meet a lot of people in your travels. You really are. Whether you want to or not, honestly. But every single person I've met for the most part has been absolutely lovely. Surfer says, my all-time favorite show is Grey's Anatomy. I am absolutely obsessed and still watching it. Grey's was a show I definitely could not get into, and I think it's mainly because I was spoiled by ER. I watched that show religiously, and it's one of maybe 3 shows that I have in full on DVD. I love ER that much, and I was actually talking to Fally about it the other day because he was watching reruns, because they show reruns in Norway where he lives, and we were talking about one of the most how do I put this? One of the most impactful episodes they had ever done, where I still remember it all these years later and the emotions that I felt from it and stuff. Yeah, not too far from Pittsburgh. It's from certain parts of New Jersey, it's a 4 to 5 hour drive, give or take. We're just gonna line this accordingly because we're at the 3rd level now. We need this to be, we kind of need this to be, not, this kind of has to be flush with the stairs. So we need to, because I looked at the house, and the house is this high. So I have to get the stone to be this high, which is gonna be annoying, and I don't even know if I have enough of it. Sassy, this is the majority, this is my base. So this is basically taken from the Charmed House. Give me 1 second to go find the wiki page for it. And I will post, I'll post the picture, let's see, I think it's this one? Yes, this is a legitimate legitimate house. It actually exists. And it's in California. Boom. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I watched ER and I watched Code Black. Those were my 2 favorite hospital shows because they focused more on the hospital itself and the procedures. Oh, and House too. So House, ER, and Code Black because they focused more on the patients and they focused on the inner workings of the hospital more than the romantic storylines. Like, I won't gravitate towards a show that's very heavy on the romantic storylines, just because I find them distracting. So, but yeah, this is gonna be my base, and it's basically a combination of, with the exterior taken from the Charmed House, but the interior is more of what I envisioned Hufflepuff House to be, and I'm making that in my own way, where it's a house where there's going to be, you know, people are welcome and everyone can have a good time and stuff like that, and also where everyone can be who they are meant to be and be their true selves. So there's going to be like banners and like of everything, because I want it to be a completely welcoming space, no matter how people identify. So, and that's why I've named it Coffee Cup House, because other inclinations have a different meaning. So yeah, I have it outlined here. I am very much a Hufflepuff. Through and through. I have the scarf, I have the yellow, I rock the yellow and black, or in my case, the purple and the purple and green. Yes, Hot Horse, you should catch up with whatever you can. Best suggestion I could give you is to watch Hermitcraft Recap, because that condenses months of content into easily digestible sections. And I think that's going to allow you to kind of have a crash course on Season 7 and all the shenanigans and everything that's gone on with it, especially because a bunch of hermits either came back or were added, like Vintage Beef and Etho and Hypno, and they brought in Grian. And so, well, Grian came in Season 6, so there's that. But, oh, good night, Donut King. Good to see you. I'll see you tomorrow in the Discord. But yeah, so there's a whole bunch of new shenanigans and stuff. So the Hermitcraft Recap is gonna be, it's gonna be your go-to. Trust me. Count on it. It's really gonna help. But yeah, so in any event, because I'm going back and forth, if you're accustomed to these streams, you know this is how it works. You already know. So let's see, I already know too that I need to, this is gonna end up getting closed off. You haven't watched since Halloween. Oh boy, okay, yeah, then you've got a couple of months to go, and Hermitcraft Recap is going to be your best friend. Trust me when I say that. Yeah, so we need to fill this much in. across this entire space. We're in trouble, y'all. I need to make sure that I have enough materials because excuse me. I didn't get to mute in time. I apologize. I sheared a good chunk of this mountain range out. I sheared this all down without a beacon because I'm a mad lass. And I am gonna have to do some fancy configuration to make sure that I have enough blocks to do this because, oh boy, I probably don't. I do know that this is going to be Crimson Wood, this outline here. Now I just have to fill the rest in and then make sure it's lit up like a Christmas tree, oddly enough. But in any event, so let me get back to the story that I was telling before I got distracted by the Texas story, and then we talked about television shows, and Hot Horse Radish wants to know my top 5 television shows. So I should probably get to that before I do anything else. I've watched a bunch of television shows over the years. I think ER is definitely my top. Always has been, always will be. If I'm home and I see that there's a replay of it, I will stop and watch it. Especially if it's an episode that I don't really remember as well. I will watch it. Even if it makes me cry, I don't care. But ER is definitely up there. I love Arrow. I thought it was fascinating, and I thought the writing was really clever. I missed the last season and a half because of my volunteer work, but I'm looking forward to catching up with it. Like, the whole CW universe, the whole modern CW universe is just fantastic. It's wonderful. What's another show that I really like? See, I don't really watch a lot of TV anymore, so it's hard for me to remember different things or in different shows. I liked Big Bang Theory, despite it having a lot of issues. There were certain things about it where that just did not make sense to me at all. And I'm not going to get into them because we're going to get into a debate, and I don't want to do that. But Big Bang Theory was good for what it was meant to, what it was. It was very good for what it was, and I think it really brought an eye to geek culture. There was a game show. There were 2 game shows that were run that were absolute favorites of mine. One was they were both on TBS or TNT. I think it was TBS. One had the 2 stars of Revenge of the Nerds, and it was basically this nerd competition to see who was the nerdiest person. And I loved that show. I thought it was amazing. And I was really sad to see it not renewed. I really enjoyed it. And then the other one was hosted by Stan Lee. And it was, so you want to be a superhero. And he basically found these people who legitimately had these great great backstories for characters and stuff like that. I remember one was called Basura, which means garbage in Spanish. And she was just this very feisty woman. And it was pretty stellar. It really was. I was really sad to see it not picked up. I think they got their own comic, if I remember right. I think we have one of the comics in the house. But yeah, a lot of times now we watch Hermitcraft, and we watch other YouTube and stuff like that. We really don't watch a lot of television anymore. We really don't. So there's that. And I think we're better for it. And you know what? That's fine. Seems like we're not doing half bad, although I am getting concerned over how much stone and cobblestone I have and how much I'm going to end up using by the time I'm done here. We'll see. We'll see. If I have to go mining, I have a area underneath that I could just go. Feedback was season 1's winner, if I remember right. That sounds familiar. I don't remember at this point because it's been so long. I'm trying to think of what else, like what other shows I watched that I really enjoyed. I watch Monday Night Raw sometimes, although now I stream, so it's fine. And Friday Night SmackDown. I've been a wrestling fan since I was a kid, so I guess I could count those. Although now I stream when they're on, so I only really watch the pay-per-views now. But the wrestling quality is still pretty decent. Horseradish says, I just play Minecraft now and then. I haven't played in a couple of months. Well, if you have the time, get back in there. Have I seen Parks and Rec? I have not. You unlocked an emote. Nice. Which one? Yeah, Parks and Rec is on my list because everyone says that's decent. And Joe has mentioned The Good Place, and I haven't watched it. Manatee tried to watch it, and he hated it. Even though it has, I think it has Kristen Chenoweth in it, and he adores her. So, one of his favorite shows is Pushing Daisies, which was way ahead of its time. I actually really enjoyed that show. You think I'd like Parks and Rec? Well, I wasn't a fan of The Office. I mean, I've tried to watch it, and I'm trying to watch it again because of Steve Carell, but yes, Pushing Daisies was canceled way too soon. I was really sad about it. It was very much ahead of its time. And it had Chi McBride in it, so can't go wrong with that. He's great. Ah, you've been playing Farming Simulator. Okay. Yeah, I told Manatee for Christmas I wanted to pick up House Flipper because it's on Steam, but I'm trying not to spend any more money on myself because we have Christmas coming up, and even though we're socially distanced from our families, we are still trying to make sure that we can give our relatives Christmas, a Christmas the way that we want to. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I've seen, I think Beef and Wells really loves House Flipper, so he's done a couple of episodes with it, and I'm curious about it. Aatrox says, I'm on the older end of the Office target audience and no sci-fi shows. No, I watch sci-fi. All of Star Trek, although I don't like the original as much as I love Next Gen and Deep Space Nine. I love Next Gen. Give me more of Next Gen. So Voyager is hit or miss. And Doctor Who, of course. The Ninth Doctor is my favorite Doctor. He's my Doctor, and I love him. He's I adore him. Like, yes, please. I would hop into the TARDIS to go hang out with him any day of the week, and Manatee knows this. Manatee knows this very well. We joke about it all the time. Ah, here's all the cobble. I knew I had more cobble. Come to mama. Okay, there we go. Fade's watching all the Star Trek series. Seasons 1 and 2 were so weird. Seasons 1 and 2 of any show are weird because they're trying to find their groove, you know? They're trying to figure out their lives or the stories they want to tell and stuff like that. It's really hard to do. So, there's that. And I didn't realize this was going to take me so long to do, but it's fine. The replay mod stuff, I'm just going to have to continue to fiddle with it. And Sassy, if you want to get together at some point, maybe the next time I stream, maybe Wednesday, Thursday, we can take more time and figure it out. I think I just lost patience with it for tonight. I also really need to get this done because I'm doing a collab for one episode and then trying to get this cow head shop together for the next one, but I really need to get work started on this base. I really do. I'm the only one who doesn't have a proper base because I started so late. So it's like, Okay, so I keep getting distracted because that is my want in life. Horse Radish says, I mainly play on my beta 1.73 world because I'm trying to make a man-made forest. Good luck with that. You know, here's the thing, y'all. If you're not already in my Discord, this is especially going to those of you who are new to the channel. And if you hit follow, thank you so much for that. I do appreciate it. I do have a Discord, and if you want to post your builds or just come hang out with the community, that is wonderful. I would love to have you. Please make yourself at home. Please make yourself at home. I would love to have you. The more the merrier, I say. If you've been in there long enough, you can play Among Us with us on Friday nights. I stream Among Us now from 8 to 10. And then we usually raid Skiz because he, Evil Notion, Tango, they all play. They all play Among Us, I think from 10 to like 2 in the morning or some craziness like that. So yeah, I'd love to have everyone. Come on in, make yourselves at home, like I always say. So in any event, you should be. Go check. I just posted the link. Go check. I could swear you were. And I know I'm in yours. I need to bounce into yours more often. I really do, Sassy. You can't verify your account? You should be able to. I think you just need an email. Either that or Discord's being weird again. Wait a little bit and then try again. Ah, there we go. There we go. Here's the accidental mob farm I made. Yay. Oh, and there's a creeper too. Excuse me, take my arrow to the face, please. I done derped. Okay, hold on. Let's light this up. I'm gonna get shot in the face a lot. It's gonna be fine. And for those of you wondering, we have keep inventory on this server, so if I end up dying, I'm not gonna lose anything. I'm just gonna lose my patience, if nothing else. Yeah, you need to eat it. Yeah, you're... Oh! Excuse me. Alright, that wasn't from that skelly, was it? Oh, I whiffed that. Come on. Come here, you. Yeah, you. I'm looking at you. Yeah, come here. Get off my lawn. There we go. No harm, no foul. Well, okay, harm for them. It is fine. Let's light this up a little bit better. This will teach me to not plunk the torches. Oh, gosh. Okay, let's reclaim that. Grab some gunpowder. Everything's right in the world. That's good. Oh, you misspelled your email and tried making a new email with the misspelled version. Also forgot the... Oh, you're in a pickle jar. I don't know how I can help you. Try your best? I don't know. I don't know. But, oh goodness, I keep wanting to get back to this story and I'm distracted by everything. I don't know how y'all put up with me, I really don't. So, anyway. For those who don't know, you are all here with me, not just because Membo built a door, but because of Joe. And the story with that is, after... Oh, yeah, my coffee cup emotes are cute. The love one is going to be on Twitch as soon as I can get Space Dorito to give me the right sizes for them. They have been under the weather, so I'm leaving them alone until they feel better and feel well enough to do that. But anyway, so so this was after my mom passed away last August, and because I started streaming in October of 2019. Mom passed away in August. And around that time, or maybe a little bit beforehand, I think it was a little bit beforehand, he had asked me during one of his streams outright. He said, he called me out on stream, like called me out. I've told him this a couple of times because he didn't notice. Oh, you're fine, Horseradish. I'm sure it'll figure itself out. Be patient and keep trying. It'll work out. But There will definitely be a spot waiting for you when you get there, though. But yeah, so this was after Mom passed, and he called me out on stream, and he said, "Oh, thanks, Yergi. I appreciate you looking into that for them. I really do." And I did not bring any food with me. That was a judgment error. Yes, Joe Hills called me out on stream and said to me, "Hey NJ, do you and Manatee stream? Do either of you stream?" And I wrote in chat, "No, we don't." And he said to me, "Well, you should. I think you'd be good at it." And I laughed it off. And I went, "Yeah, no." He knows that I have radio experience from college. And not too much longer after that, he called me out on stream again. And I wish I had it clipped, but I didn't know how to Twitch clip back then, and the VOD is long gone at this point. I do have radio experience. I was a disc jockey, a newscaster, and an engineer from the late 90s to the early 2000s when I was in college. So if that doesn't date me, nothing will. And I'm okay with that. I worked for a well-known radio station here in New Jersey. College radio, but still. And so he calls me out on stream again, and he says to me, "So NJ, are you streaming yet? Are you streaming yet? We're waiting. We want you to do this." And I'm just like, I'm sitting there, and you know the face that I'm making. Those of you who know me, you know the face I'm making at that point. I'm just like, well, holy hell. Here's this guy, and he's encouraging me to do something that is far beyond my comfort zone. I have no idea how to do it or whatever. And he's pushing me. And I just was like, okay, if he's going to push me this hard about it, and because he's going to be on me until I do it. I said, okay, fine. And so I spent a month researching OBS and Slobs, which is Streamlabs OBS, and trying to figure out which one works for me. Hold on, Horseradish. Give me 1 second. Let me take a look in Discord. Let me make sure. Yeah, Horseradish, you are in here. You are in the server. You're there. You're definitely here. There's 2 of you, actually. You've appeared twice. So, I think you got it figured out. You might want to open Discord and take a look, because sometimes it seems like it didn't work, but it actually did. And it's a little confusing. But you're in there. You're definitely in there. But yeah, absolutely sassy. Definitely. I have to, let me check the, give me 1 second, hold on. Let me double check what my verification is. Because I have that there for a reason. Moderation. Streamer mode enabled. I know streamer mode's enabled. Thank you. That's not what I'm looking for right now. I need overview. I don't know why I can't find this. I probably can't see this because I am in streamer mode. Yeah, Yurgi, you should be able to see it if, there's definitely a balance on the pushing, but it also definitely worked out. Yes, it did. Horseradish, we can troubleshoot this after I finish my stream. We can figure something out. Oh, so sit tight. We'll get you in there. But in the meantime, yeah, basically, he encouraged me, and I spent a month researching the different, what you call it, the programs and how it worked and how to integrate Twitch. And I also then, I also changed everything over. I had to separate, my personal from my gaming so that I could prevent getting doxxed. I'm gonna probably go for another 45 minutes, Horseradish, to be honest. I did a lot today, so I'm treating myself to extra time online. Because I haven't really been on all day. If that's too late for you, then, you could private message one of the mods. Like, I think, yeah, Yurgi's with us, so maybe she can help you. If not, we can figure something out. I wouldn't... You need to sleep. Okay, you can private message me on Discord, and we can work it out tomorrow. If nothing else, okay? That's okay, Yurgi. Don't worry about it. Yeah, private message me on Discord, Horseradish. We'll work it out tomorrow. Give me some time to look into what's causing the problem. I need to kind of finish. I want to try and finish this before I go to bed. So yeah, I mean, streaming was actually kind of terrifying at first because I hadn't done any kind of streaming or live or anything like that in a good long time. I'm talking like 15 years or so. Just because you are part of a radio station in some way, shape, or form does not necessarily mean that you continue down that path. And I did not continue down that path. I ended up doing something completely different as per my major and stuff like that. And so I had to really get over my anxiety and my nerves about it. And the first couple of streams you'll never see because I didn't know how to save the VODs. So they are lost to the wilderness. But my third stream is the first one I ever saved. And that was the one that Joe actually showed up in and scared me half to death because I was in the middle of doing something and he popped in and he startled the crap out of me. And he told me later, he's like, should I just not pop in? Like, should I just lurk? And I'm like, no, it's fine if you pop in. Just when I'm in the middle of something, you're gonna startle me. And so he doesn't really pop in anymore unless I'm streaming something for Shamblecraft, like a Shamblecraft day, or he comes on stream. He comes on stream to play Among Us sometimes, like whether it's for charity or otherwise, which is really sweet. I appreciate that. But yeah, when I had questions about how to set stuff up, like he was ready to answer them, and he's talked to me about other stuff like this, for example. Alright, good night, Horseradish. See you later. Like the impulse raid at the end of Hermitcraft stream day. Yes. Yes, like that. Like he helped me figure out Patreon. I have a Patreon now, which is still a very wild concept to me in the fact that it exists and that I have some of the most wonderful people as my patrons. Like, I know some of them have been in chat this evening, and I just want to say I appreciate you. But yeah, every single part of this is really all thanks to Joe and Mumbo's Door. That's it. He seriously is. He really is. And he's not the kind of person to really gush or anything like that, and I'm attempting to do the same because I think it's silly. But yeah. And I asked him about it not too long ago, and he said, I tell him all the time, you know, this is your fault. I tell him, this is your fault, you know. And he's like, I'm not taking responsibility for that. I was like, you're not going to take responsibility. I'm giving you the responsibility. I'm telling you outright that this is your fault. And he's like, oh, okay. Then I'll take it. So it cracks me up every single time. It's called assigning blame. That is very true. That is very, very true. But yeah, it's all in good fun. And yeah, he's lovely. And I can't wait until we can until we can hang out again. Um, Last year when we saw each other at PAX Unplugged, I surprised him before he showed up. I had gone and picked up a pin set for him because he said he wanted it for Christmas. And so I went and got it. And when he met up with us before he left, because we were volunteering, so we couldn't really hang out because we had that obligation, I said to him, before you go, and I stopped him, I was like, hey, here. And so I gave him the pin set. And the look on his face was just the most beautiful thing because he was so touched. And he immediately took one, because it was a 2-pin set. He took one, he puts it on, and he walked away. And he said to me later, he's like, so I gave the other pin to my friend, is that okay? And I was like, yeah, of course it's okay. I gave them to you, and you could do with them as you see fit. And I think that's very sweet that you thought of somebody else to share that with you. Joe and Cleo equal Burns and Allen. Yes, oh dear goodness. Okay, so they are a blast together, and I'm hoping to meet her or talk to her one of these days. I support her. I'm one of her patrons, and I'm not one of her server patrons because I can't swing that. But yeah, she's lovely, and I'd love to meet her someday. Okay, so this needs to go. I'm not ready for this to go yet because I need somewhere to come and go. I think what I'm going to end up doing, because I still have a couple of rows left to place, I think what I'm going to have to do is just build around it, and then when I'm ready, take this down and the whatnot, because I don't want to have to go all the way over 200 blocks away to Badgers to travel. I need to be able to do stuff on my own. So that's going to be a whole thing. So we're going to probably do, how many more layers do I need of this? 2? Yeah, 2. Okay. So I'm going to just try and do both layers. And I think by the time I'm done placing the 2 layers, I think that's going to be a good time to call it, because I have to work in the office tomorrow morning. But yeah, so these are the kinds of stories that I have for those of you who are new and have indulged me for the last 2.5 hours. I also realized that I have not moved, and I also realize that I need to hydrate better because my throat's starting to get a little weird. So here's what's going to happen. I'll go for at least another 40 minutes, but I am going to lock myself in my space. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to lock myself in for a little bit. And then I'm going to step away just so I can get more tea. And also wonder why Twitch just told me that my thing is messed up. Okay, that's really weird. I can't see my replay. Before I go, what's the delay looking like right now? Okay, there we go. Because it looks like my bitrate went to hell. You know what? Hold on. My connection's unstable, probably because I've been going for 2 hours. Here's what I'm gonna do. I know you're probably delayed by a few minutes. I'm gonna step away, I'm gonna grab more tea, and I'm gonna just stretch my legs. I am a proofreader, they are not. We are running as, we are running the ship that we need right now. And my boss will not hire anyone remote. He wants people in-house. Give me like 2 minutes, I'm gonna leave the music playing, and you guys just hang out, make sure you get your snack, make sure you stretch your legs, make sure you do all that fun stuff. I will be back very shortly. Okay, I am back. Thank you guys. Thank you all so much for your patience. I appreciate you. I seriously needed to go and stretch my legs and walk around for a bit and say hi to Manatee and stuff like that. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so where were we? What was I talking about before I got distracted by a need for tea? Some people have a need for speed, I have a need for tea. Thank you, Sassy. You had to make a new account? Oh geez, okay. Alright, so let's see. We are still in the middle of building this up. We have 2 more blocks to go, and I will cry if my math is off on this. So we're gonna see what happens, honestly. Oh, awesome. I'm so glad. I'm so glad, Horseradish. Welcome. I hope you like it there. Okay. So yeah, basically what I'm just doing right now, and this is obviously going to change as we go, because I have to put in quartz stairs and stuff like that. That's all going in, that's all going to go in one of my episodes or something like that. I don't think I'm going to do that during a live stream. But I need to get this raised up. This whole walkway here, I did this a while ago to see how many spaces I had because I want the dormitories to reach around into this general space, and it's 70 blocks across from that opening. So I know if I want to widen it out, so like the grand room or the common room or whatever is basically going to take up a good chunk of this space. I have a lot of bricks, a lot of blocks to dig out, and I think I'll be doing that during the live streams because that's a lot of grindy work. And no, they're not going to be for villagers. I ideally would love to do some armor stand work and really make it something special, honestly. That's ideally what I'm going for, is doing something extra special with, like having students in the dormitories or in the common room studying and practicing their magic or whatever, and then, night, Darth. Catch you tomorrow. But yeah, so basically I want it to be akin to that universe without it necessarily being that universe. I would like for it to be a parallel universe or a universe adjacent. And it's going to have a lot of purple and green features to kind of match me and my character and my Minecraft skin and stuff like that. My Minecraft skin, by the way, was designed by Space Dorito, and they do exquisite work. They are my go-to Minecraft dermatologist, and if they find out that I'm plugging them in my stream again, they're gonna just be like, NJ, what are you doing? I don't care, because they're great. Space is great. Yeah, so do I. When I was first putting my Minecraft skin together, I wanted to do something kind of original. So my first Minecraft skin was basically me in a purple shirt, blue jeans, and black shoes. Tungsten Train, hi, welcome, thank you for the follow. Good to have you. I hope that you are doing well this Tuesday night as my area prepares for a lot of snow. We're here on the Shamblecraft server. Myson says, I have to go for the evening. Have a great time continuing to place those blocks. Oh, I'm having a blast right now. I'm so glad to be able to spend this time with everybody. I really am so glad so many of you could hang out tonight. I just think it's kind of amusing that I tore all this out and now I have to put it all back in and make it taller. But such is Minecraft, am I right? But I hope I'll see you at the next stream, Myson. Have a good night. Sleep well. But yeah, so hopefully tomorrow won't be too bad. We're supposed to get snow. It's supposed to be bad, but I have a feeling that it might be enough for us to weather through it. And that was an unintentional pun, but I'm going to ride it through. Oh wait, this is the outline of the building. We don't want that. We need that broken down. Yeah, that's not supposed to be there. I do have to remember to place torches down as I go though, so I have to watch for that. But in any event, yeah, so we're supposed to get a lot of snow tomorrow, and I'm not too concerned about it. I know that we'll be alright. I'm more concerned about making sure that we get the supplies we need to get through the rest of the week, because I don't have to go into the office until Monday, after tomorrow. It's a complicated story, and I don't want to talk smack about my boss, because I like my boss. I do. Just, there are some things that are just kind of like head scratching. But we're making the most of it. I taught my coworkers how to use Slack, and so far we've been using it for everything, and it's come in handy so much. It's made communication a lot easier. It really has. And I think that's going to be, I think it's going to be a keystone for us going forward, especially when on those days where we're not sick enough, where we're really only staying home because we're sick, but we can still do our work. Milky Snowman, thank you for the follow. What an awesome handle. Come on in, make yourself at home. How are you? Your username is very appropriate for this time of year, I must say. I must say. I should probably make a snowman. Maybe I should make a couple of snow golems if there aren't any over by the village. That's not too far from here. Oh, hi Shaco. How are you? Says, this is around the same time we had a huge snowstorm last year too. It was very sudden and I accidentally slid with my car down a steep hill through 2 intersections in my neighborhood while going to pick up firewood. Oh geez, okay. Were you hit? Or did you just slip and slide? Because that is some scary stuff right there. Yeah, there are some parts of the country that are just scary weather-wise to live in. They really are. When we had 2 cars back in the day, or it was right before we got the first Subaru. We had a Saturn, and that poor thing could not drive in the snow at all. And we tried to drive it. The last day we tried to drive it in the snow, we got 4 blocks away from the house and we had to turn around because we couldn't get the car to move any further, and I almost got run over trying to help push it because it was easier for me to push it than it was for me to try to steer it back to the house, and it was just white knuckle nerve-wracking, let me tell you. Okay. By the way, can you hear anything besides the music right now? Let me know, because that means I need to go tell Manatee to turn down the TV in the other room. Shaco says, didn't hit anything, but someone was about to cross the street and was very startled. I would be too. Oh, I'm out of blocks. That would be helpful. There are no block sounds? Seriously? You don't hear the blocks being placed? How do you not hear the blocks? Hold on. Maybe my block placing sounds are off. It's me and the music. Okay, hold on, let me check my sounds. Okay, my blocks are at 100%. That doesn't make sense. Block sounds are there, but they're faint. That makes no sense. It's at 100%. What can I do about that? Do I need to reset? And if so, how do I do that? Because I don't want to botch anything. Do I have something turned down on OBS? I have the desktop audio so that my ears aren't drowned out by the music. But I can barely hear the blocks being placed. 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 I can barely hear the blocks being plac let's see. Hold on. Music's 15. I'll lower that a little bit. Blocks are at 100%. Master volume I'll put to 20? Alright, let's try that because that's really weird. The music's drowning out the block sounds? Okay, hold on. Give me a second. I'll turn down the music. Because I want you to hear the block sounds. I also should probably go grab food. That would be good. I just grabbed a snack when, that was one of the things, that's why my little break took a little bit. Because I grabbed a snack. And, I talked to Manatee for a second to let him know I was still going. Okay, that I can't block yet. Oh, I guess I can. Okay. I'm not gonna put the blocks over the chests. I'm not ready to take them out yet. Before I cover up the, before I cover everything up on that end, I'll, okay, so there's that, and then that, and then that, and then we plunk down the ladders so that we can find them. I'm honestly glad to get rid of all this cobble, because I was like, what am I going to do with all this cobble? I mean, really now. What am I going to do with it? And I've created mob spaces. So, torches. Let's put down some torches. Let's not be silly. Let's light this up a little bit better. Because I don't need a creeper trying to give me a hug tonight. I'm not about that right now. And speaking of which... Ah, oh, heck. Come here. Y'all, remind me to light my builds up because this is ridiculous. Yeah, you eat it. You're gonna shoot me in the face. And I'm gonna miss wildly. You're gonna die. Nice! And then there's another one for good measure, because why not? Yeah, you! Come here. Boof! No! No! Ah, it blew up. We have a mod on the server that doesn't let us, experience creeper explosions and creeper griefing. And I am super relieved about that because creeper griefing is awful and I hate it. Let me grab that sweet, sweet XP while I'm at it. So this should help keep the mobs off my back for a little while longer. There we go. And I've lit this part up, so that's not too bad. So I think we're in good shape. I'm gonna leave the area, yeah, they still do kill, yeah, they still do take you out. Oh! Oh! Well, I'll be damned. We hit a milestone tonight! I just looked over and I see 1,500 followers! Peeps, what the heck? Ah! That's awesome! Sorry, headphone users. Thank you so much! Oh, that's awesome! Oh my gosh, I don't know what to say. I've been talking for... I'm focused now on all these block placements, and I looked up and was like, oh, so Milky Snowman, you were my 1,500th follower. Thank you so very much. That means so much. It really does. It really, really does. Like, everyone who follows is awesome. Thank you. Oh gosh. Not bad for starting a little before last Halloween, I guess.
A lot of patience for people who feel like they're downloading.
Oh goodness. That's awesome.
You know, just
I'm gonna squeal just a little bit. It's fine.
Okay, great. Now let's make it better.
But in any event, so it's Tuesday, and the rest of the week for me is kind of a crapshoot because it really depends on how bad the weather's going to be. I mean, I planned on staying in the rest of the week anyway after tomorrow, and I'm really hoping we can get our groceries and the supplies that we need when we need them. So, you know, keep your fingers crossed for that, I guess. But yeah, so what are you all up to for the rest of the week? Especially if I don't get to stream for the rest of the week. What are you guys gonna do? What are you guys up to? You guys have anything planned? Anything special? Vidmaster says, I got an extra day off this week, so my weekend started today. Nice. That's awesome. How many days off do you have? 2, 3? Enjoy them. Enjoy them, enjoy them, enjoy them. Big time. Enjoy them. 3. Even better. Very nice. Very, very nice. Vid says, I have a Pathfinder game that I play tomorrow. I have to prep for mine on Friday. Oh, very cool. Okay. I actually will be doing I'll be hosting a game or a couple of games of a board game called Welcome to on the 29th, which is a Tuesday. I took off from work that day, and I'll be hosting a couple of sessions of that game on Joe's Discord. And I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. I love that game very much. It's a real favorite. Shaco says, I'm going to be just doing my part-time job and plenty of Minecraft, safe inside my apartment. Good deal, good deal. Good stuff. It's going to go from... It's going to be in Joe's Discord. It's not going to be streamed or anything. It's going to run from 3 to 5 Central, so 4 to 6 my time. I've never really used Board Game Arena. One of my fellow Discordians, Bianca, helped me figure it out. So it was really interesting to see the game, because we have the board game and love the board game. The board game is so good. And it plays a little bit differently on BGA, but I like it enough that I think it's a viable option to use. So I'm really interested in looking forward to bringing that to the Discord community. Vid says, even if it was streamed, I wouldn't be able to catch it. That's my sleep time. Well, there's nothing that says, if this really works, there's nothing that says that I can't figure out a way to have that in my Discord at some point. Honestly. I think we can set up a game time for that. Not everything I do has to be streamed. And not everything I do has to be super late at night. But yeah, I mean, I've been doing a lot of thinking over the last couple of months, especially with, you know, the pandemic and, you know, dealing with mom and dad's, you know, losing mom and dad and stuff like that. And Manatee lost his parents a few years ago. We actually lost both sets of our parents in less than 13 years or something like that. No, wait, hold on, I have to do math. 2013, 2016, 2019, 2020. So we've lost both sets of our parents within the last 7 years. And let me tell you, it's not easy. But, where was I going with this? So this year especially has given a lot of pause. Because of everything that's gone on, you know, sweeping gesture. And I think one of the next couple of streams that I do I really want to kind of reflect on this year a little bit, and I want to make sure to talk about. I'm gonna do this in an episode at some point. I'll probably do something and just chat a little bit. But I really want to reflect on this year and that it, as terrible as it was, it wasn't all terrible. And one of the things that my therapist has me do is come up with a gratitude journal. So every day, I haven't done this in a bit, but I have to pick it back up again. I'm going to start tomorrow. Is write down 3 things that I'm grateful for every single day. And I think that's what I'm gonna do that for the rest of the year, for sure. And then I think what I want to do is share that with everybody, maybe in a live stream. I don't know if I'm going to stream New Year's Eve. I think I'm off from work. If not, I'm working until like 1 or 2 in the afternoon, which isn't too bad. But I don't know. I got there's something here, and I just want to. I think I need to marinate on it just a little bit more. And I really have to put the rest of this ladder in here, or at least put the trapdoor down so I know I have a drop. Go figure. Do I have food in any of these containers? Yeah, my therapist has been working with me to better navigate my anxiety, and we're looking into if I have ADHD and stuff like that. My brother's convinced we do, but it is what it is. This is all the wool I didn't use. This isn't terrible. I just have a lot of garbage in here that I need to sort out, and I need to name all these shulkers too while I'm at it, and I haven't done that yet. So, one thing at a time. Vid says, we're all still good friends that live close to each other, although right now we're doing online gaming for obvious reasons. It's the main way we hang out. Yeah, same here. We have a gaming group that's been going since the late 90s, because we all started playing in college, and I need more... Hold on, I need more cobble. Where am I going? Ugh, derp. More cobble, please. Do I have any more cobble? Okay, I have some. That'll get me a little bit further. That's fine. Do I have any in here? Yes, I do. I'm trying to use all the cobble first because I don't want to have to deal with it later, and it's going to save me inventory space. So I'll take whatever cobble I can get. There we go. More cobble. And then when I'm out of cobble, I'll use the stone. So we'll go from there. I think my tea is cool enough by now. I had to brew a fresh kettle's worth because I was gonna microwave my water, and I was like, my European friends will never let me live it down. They do not want me doing that. They don't understand why we do it in America, and it's just like because it's convenient, and that's the only reason why. I should probably leave this open until I take this until I take this portal down. I'm not quite there yet. Because I still need to build my cow shop that I have so far built it poorly. Vidmaster says, my first DM actually worked on the original books a bit. He helped influence the first edition Cavalier. He knew Gary Gygax. Wow, okay. That is some major nerd cred. Yeah, exactly. I bet he has stories for days about that. That is so cool. Hold on, I'm gonna sip my tea because my throat is really ragged. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. I should put the ladders away for now. And I'll move the torches over here. I don't need the carrot just yet, but I do need to make sure that I eat regularly. Oh yeah, I have no doubt that that your friend has stories. I mean, come on now. It's Gary Gygax, for Pete's sake. I bet he has stories for days and upon days upon days. Adventures to share and the whatnot. Well, of course he would have been a vicious DM. He developed it. Of course he's gonna be vicious. When I get to play D&D, it's usually either with Joe as DM or with Pasta Ability as DM. And they are both wonderful DMs. I actually was hesitant about playing D&D again because I've had a couple of negative experiences with either players, whether they realize it or not. If you are in a D&D campaign, my friends, do not be the one who talks over the other players. Do not be that person. The saying is don't be that guy, but don't be that person. Don't talk over other players. Don't tell the other players what they're gonna do. Let people get a word in edgewise. Let them feel like they're truly part of the campaign, and instead of going along for the ride. Because that is a fatal flaw when you are bringing in new people to a group. If you have a lot of type A personalities in there, and they're just gonna run roughshod all over new players or, whatever, then you're in for a bad time. I've had experiences where I've been talked over, or I wasn't able to express myself or what have you, and I got really frustrated with it. And I had one game where the DM was really excited about it, so I felt really bad about this for a hot second. And they had created a campaign that was following the story from The Black Hole, which is a very I think it was called The Black Hole, a very obscure sci-fi movie that none of us had seen. And so there was one point where the story dragged on and on because none of us had seen the movie. So we had no idea what he was talking about or anything like that. We had no point of reference, we had no context. And so there was one point where, oh, okay, Horseradish, good night. Sleep well. I'm so glad we got the Discord thing settled. And I'm glad you're in there now. And it was good to see you again. I know I'll see you very soon. Yeah, exactly. It was definitely a guess what the DM is thinking thing, because the game couldn't progress until I had said the explicit line or whatever it was to trigger the next part. And I was like, dude, I've never seen this, this movie. Oh, awesome, Horseradish. I'm so glad. I'm glad that they get you pumped. That's awesome. That makes me very happy to hear that. That I can't fall asleep. Oh goodness. Oh no. I'm sorry about that. But I do understand. But yeah, so he waited for me to say this one thing, and I wasn't able to do it, so I was just like, can we figure out how to progress, please? Because, whatever. And so I was really turned off to role-playing in general because of it. And so when Joe was gonna do something, he was doing this one-shot. Prishya, hi, thank you for the follow. Welcome, come on in, make yourself at home. I'm NJ. It's nice to meet you. We're talking about D&D, and I am filling in my base over here. I am working on something akin to the house from Charmed. I'm going to post the picture in the Discord so you can kind of see what the exterior of this build is going to be when it's done. And I'm filling it in because the staircase that's happening here, the staircase is going to go all the way up to here. So I'm filling this space in with cobblestone because it has to be this high. Now, I might change that at some point. We shall see. But for now, this is going to be my point of reference. And I'm using cobblestone because I have it coming out of my ears and I need to use it. I also need to go... I have 3 stacks left, so let's use those. And then I'll swing into the trailer that I have over there and see if I have any more, because I'd rather use the cobble first and then the stone later. Because I have a ton of stone as well, but cobble's just so much easier to use because it's so plentiful in this location. I mean, I sheared all of this. I sheared all of it without a beacon. And it was one of the most relaxing things I ever did, which is why I don't really use beacons, because I love to dig. I love playing diggy diggy hole. There we go. So anyway, so Joe was doing I must be part dwarf. Well, I am short, so that is a distinct possibility. I did not get my father's height. My brother got my father's height. I took after mom. Still do. But yeah, so this was back when Mixer was still a thing, which wasn't that long ago, let's be honest. He was testing out and wanted to do a D&D one-shot with Stranger Things, because I had missed his Ravenloft Death House runs, because I was either away or I had to work or something like that, so I had to listen to them as I traveled. And so what happened was, I was part of that one-shot campaign, and I have to say that he was an exquisite DM in that he understood that I had trepidations about playing. He understood that I was coming from a background of negative experiences, and he understood that he understands that every player comes in with a different knowledge set and experience level in terms of playing it and the whatnot. So he takes great care, as any DM should. He takes great care to make sure that, you know, people feel like they can play and that they're appreciated, and that they, you know, that they can get their words out and they can get their thoughts out and not be stifled or anything like that. And so I really appreciated that. And it made the experience all the richer. Honestly, it made the experience all the richer. And so I greatly enjoyed that run. And so when he did the Death House a few weeks ago for the Draw for Charity event, I definitely wanted to be a part of it, and I was so glad that I did. I had so much fun. It was so much fun. And I was if his VOD for that is still up on Twitch. Well, it's not, hold on, no, it's not his VOD, it's our VOD as part of Draw for Charity. So here, I'm going to give a shout out to Draw for Charity. And I want you to go follow them, because it's a group of us who do charity work. It's myself, it's Joe Hills, it's Postability, it's McBoots, it's Gamma Liz, we had Robin Childs, who is an amazing artist. Their work is wonderful. And so yeah, and Brosephine was there. Brosephine is part of the Chris Straub Discord, and she's one of the Discord mods in Joe's place. And it's one of those things where it was wonderful. And so he did this one shot from the Death House, and I was able to do that just last week. But after I did the one shot with him, Postability invited me to play D&D with him in a female campaign, as in he was the DM and he was leading a group of us who identify as she or they, and we did a one shot, and it was amazing. Pasta was wonderful. He really made sure that everyone felt respected and that their characters were understood and that he understood the characters and everything else. And it was just one of the most fun experiences I've had And so between the two of them, they really, yeah, pasta was a riot and a half, as always, for the Draw for Charity event. But they really reignited my passion for wanting to play D&D again. And Joe is actually doing a Ravenloft run at the end of the month, and I'm not going to be able to participate because I have to work. That's one of my days where I'm in the office, so it's like, that's a bummer. So I'm a little bit bummed out that I'm a lot bummed out that I'm not going to be able to play, because I have missed that 3 separate times now. And I'm sure that I will have my moment and I'll be able to play, but right now that is not going to happen. And so it's like, alright, well, whatever. It's fine. So there's that. I'm leaving these shulkers exposed so that I can go get them later. Because I still have to cover up the floor and everything, and I still have to figure out how I want this space to look. But right now I need to make it so that I can figure out how much space, once I build the porch, how much is there. I'm not going to build the porch tonight. I just really want to get this filled in because I realize I'm going over 3 hours, and I'm basically going to finish this and then call it. As much as I hate to let you all go. I do have to go in the office tomorrow morning, so I have to make sure that I'm up bright and early and that my stuff is all packed up, and like I made my lunch and I prepped my coffee and all that stuff, but still. But yeah, in any event. Oh, so I have to put a schedule on here, so that you guys know when I stream. But I'm so sporadic, and sometimes I'll have a schedule to do it, and then I won't be able to because I'll be like under the weather or whatever. And I think it'll be okay. But yeah, for now, for sure, definitely, I will be playing Friday night Among Us with the cafe community, and that is going to run from 8 to 10 p.m. or so Eastern. Or until that game ends, like the last game ends, whichever comes first or whatever. And then on Sunday, I started doing Sagrada Sunday mornings. Sagrada is a dice game where you're recreating stained glass windows inspired by the Sagrada Familia Basilica out in Spain. Over in Spain, I guess I should say. And it's a beautiful game. It's simple construction. It's a physical board game, but I play via Steam. And I love that game so much, and I have explicit permission from Floodgate Games to stream it. They think it's a great idea. So I'm happy to bring that to you. Yuri says, that sounds really nice, talking about D&D. I've played exactly once, and while I had a good time, I was playing with a couple of people who A, had played before, and B, tend to be very talkative. While I was both nervous and can't interrupt, it was a bit hard to get anything in edgewise. Yeah, that's a mood. I've been there. That's a total mood. And Sassy's gotta go. Oh, Sassy, thank you so much for hanging out. I'm so glad you were able to hang out with me for a bunch. And I want to see pictures of what you're working on. I really do. Again, everybody, if you're not already following my friend Sassy, you need to go do that because she's wonderful. And I think she should have everyone following her. She's a variety streamer, I guess, because you play 7 Days to Die and you play Minecraft and you do all this wonderful stuff. So yeah, go give Sassy a follow, please. I would really appreciate that. But have a good night, my dear. I will catch you tomorrow. Alright, so we're still going here. We've got not a lot to go, but enough. I've skipped some spaces over for ease of accessibility, that's fine. And I have to make sure this is all lit up. Yes, please, I want to see pictures. I wasn't kidding. I was not kidding. I want to see them. And I already know I'm going to have to fill all this in with, oh, I should probably pop that. Put that there, and then race around. I'm leaving this all open and exposed so I can get in and out. and that's totally fine. I definitely do not have enough blocks on me to finish this. I'm gonna have to switch to stone. But I've basically used all the cobblestone I have on me, unless there's more that I just don't know about. Bid says, one of our players was the timid type, had to work with him to get him to participate, but it was worth it. Once he got comfortable, he really adds to the game. Yeah, and that's how it was playing in the Death House, because there were a couple of points where I wasn't sure what to do. Like, for example, there was one part where it basically took me my entire turn to get to this one part of the map. But I was separated from everyone, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to be separated from everyone. But one of us needed to get there so that we could advance the story. And so he's just like, do you really want to go back upstairs and waste a turn going back up there? And I was like, yeah, you're right. No, I'm just going to go explore this other part. And then that's when the shenanigans happened. So he convinced me to take part in the shenanigans and move the story forward because I didn't want to spend the turn. I didn't want to spend the turn going back. I knew I had more cobble. I have so much cobblestone. I have that. I have dirt. I have that. I have so much cobble. Oh my god. Cobble, 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 cobble. Cobblestone. I'll place the blocks. I'm placing blocks. Blocks. Oh dear. Oh dear. It's been a day. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. Come here. Come to mama. Thank you. But yeah. I will try to stream tomorrow, although to be perfectly honest, I think I might take tomorrow off because I want to make sure that we are completely prepped for the storm. Thursday, I will attempt to stream if both Manatee and I do not have to work, then I will probably stream during the day. If we do have to work, then I'll try to stream for like an hour or so after my shift or after my time ends. Because I don't stream during the day because A, I'm usually not home, and B, this is Manatee's workspace, and so I can't stream when he's in here because, it's rude and distracting. So I have to wait till after the work hours are done. And that's fine. That's totally fair. And I don't want to stream from the laptop again because the poor thing's been through enough with me over the last year. I ended up saving up money and got myself a desktop. Thanks in part to all of you, by the way, with all of your wonderful support and everything else that you do for me to help this channel. I was able to upgrade my system, and now I am coming to you from this beautiful desktop that allows me to not only have some really awesome graphics, but also allows me to stream and have everything up. I have Discord, I have Minecraft, I have OBS, I have all of these very CPU intensive things open and running, and they're working just fine, which is quite the relief. I'm actually going to leave that open. I have an idea because I still have to make sure that this is accessible. So I think I'm going to do that. And close this off here. But leave this part open, like maybe leave one block wide all the way around open. No, not this one. Yeah, like leave this open so that I can get around. Because I still have to be able to traverse things, and I'm not quite ready for not quite ready for taking that down just yet. I think if it's gonna stay in the same spot. maybe moved over just a hair, because that's going to be where the fireplace is, and the portal's going to is basically going to be the flue network. But I'm going to set it up so where I could have the piglins or whatever come through, but have it, I think they're the zombified pig. I think they're piglins. I can't tell the difference between piglins and hoglins. You know, I'm still getting used to it. I want to have a way so that they don't end up wandering through the base. I don't want that at all. So I have to figure out how to set that up so that it could look like a fireplace and it looks kind of like, you know, the Harry Potter Flue Network and stuff like that, but in a way that won't bring in a lot of unwanted visitors, let's say. Unwanted visitors. I don't want that. So I have to figure that out as I go. We're gonna let that stay open. We're gonna leave that for now. And we're gonna let that breathe until I can figure out where this portal's going to go. It should still link up accordingly with the portal that's on the other side. I think that'll be fine. Yeah, we'll make it a narrow passageway. That's fine. Vid says, I had an idea then realized it probably wouldn't work on Java. Okay, what's your idea? Great. 2 more stacks. Ah! See? Like that. Dadlow, thank you for the follow. Hi, A-Truck. That scared the bejesus out of me. I'm just gonna sit and sip my tea. Oh my god, that scared me to death. Surprise! Yeah, I know, right? Punk scared me. Where'd he go? Wait, where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Okay. You do you, buddy. You just stay right there. I have stuff to do, and you scared me, and you stalled me. Rude. At least it wasn't a creeper, though. Let's be honest. At least it wasn't a creeper. So yeah, I have a few things that I have to do at some point. I really need to get a move on in terms of getting this space properly situated. And this was a delay that I was not anticipating. And I've been going for over 3 hours. This is not what I intended. I have to go to work. And I am not even remotely done yet. Oh my god. Okay. We're fine, we're fine, we're fine. Get in there. And he's gonna look at me and he's like, so what do you... He's gonna look at me later. He's like, so what'd you do on stream? I placed Cobble. For 2 hours. And he'll look at me and he'll say, fun. And then go back to what he's doing on Titancraft. It's fine. And a little screaming. Yeah, he didn't come over. He must have realized I saw a creeper or something. Either that or he didn't hear it at all. Which is probably the case, because I can hear the TV in the other room. He's watching YouTube. He doesn't watch my streams, which I find hilarious. He's like, it's too weird for me. And I was like, you know what, that's fine. But occasionally he'll come in for Among Us if he feels up to it. Like, I always want him to, because I know how much he likes the game. But he's very shy. He's the introvert, I'm the extrovert. So a lot of times when people, you know, talk to me or whatever, he'll stay in the corner or like just keep to himself. And a lot of people, you know, they find that kind of weird, but if you get to know him, he's actually very outgoing. And, you know, that's why I've been with him for as long as I have, because I know that side of him. But yeah, he's very shy. He's very, very shy. And you can tell who his friends are if he has a really good deep conversation with them. Like you can tell who he like really trusts to have conversations with. He's in the Discord, but he never pops in. It's not his thing, but he's there just for the heck of it. And that's fine. People can be in my Discord for however they want to be. If they want to lurk and just read stuff, because I'm in a bunch of Discords, including Sassy's, and a lot of times I can't keep up with them all, so I just lurk and I read, and then occasionally I'll pop in with a weird message or I'll post a picture or something with some context, and it's like, yeah, you know, I lurk a lot, but I'm here and I read everything, and if there's something that, you know, I feel like I should comment on, I'll comment on it. And there are some that I'm really invested in terms of, you know, like just making sure I participate. And usually it's not just my own, but also Joe's and the Shamblecraft one, because I mod for Shamblecraft, both the Discord and the... I mod for Fally on his Twitch channel. Oh, hello! Blonde! You wonderful bean, how are you? Oh, I haven't seen you since Joe raided you, a couple of weeks ago or whatever. How's everything? What were you doing? Hold on, we need to give a shout out to Blonde here. Blonde is an amazing variety streamer. It would help if I spelled your name right. That would be great. Hold on, let's try this again. There we go. I got it. Okay, so you're playing Minecraft too. What are you doing? What are you doing? Where are you playing? Talk to me. Tell me a story. Yes, Blonde. Okay, so I don't know if you know this. I literally just mentioned it, but my hubs, Manatee Gag, plays on Titancraft. I don't know if you knew that. And I have told him a few times to tell him that I said hello. Yep, that's my husband. I've seen you like in chat when I like look over his shoulder and I'm like, oh, that's Blonde. I know her. Can you tell her I said hello? Because I'm that kind of person. But yeah, he next time you're on there, you can tell him that you know me, and he'll just be like, okay. NJ knows everybody. Because he would respond like that. Alright, let me light up this passageway before, you know, like, creepers decide to, like, give me hugs down here, and I don't need that in my life. And I've got a little stairway here. This is temporary. This is just to make sure that I can get to and from the portal, because this is all filled in. We're at my base right now, Blonde, and, we filled this all in because I realized... Yeah, I get that a lot, Blonde, and I think it's just because I talk to everybody. I don't know. I'm there. But, I realized if I'm gonna make the porch that is akin to, this... Oh, hold on. I also need to introduce myself to your raiders, because your raiders probably don't know who I am. So, apologies there. But that is what I'm working on. The exterior is going to look like that picture I just posted. But the interior is going to be quite different. But yeah, let me introduce myself before a phantom bites my face. So hi there, I'm NJ, and I am coming to you from the great state of New Jersey. Blonde and I met through the Joe Hills Discord back in the day, and I currently am on Real Fally's server, Shamblecraft. This is my base. I'm about 200 blocks away from Badger Spanner, and not too far away from Sammy, I think, on the north end of the server, down the north tunnel, the same tunnel that leads to our holiday district, our Christmas district. And I just spent a bunch of time filling in cobble after having dug this out weeks ago. I dug all this that you see here out, all this, the mountain and everything. I did that without a beacon because I love to grind. I love mining and I love to grind. It's very relaxing for me. So that was my chill time, was basically just going to the top of the mountain and just working my way down repeatedly to give myself enough space. And I set it up like this because the way that the base is going to work is that it's going to be flush with this flat space, because the secret is I'm basically redoing and reworking something from season 0 of Shamblecraft, or as it was known back then, Fallycraft, of a Hufflepuff house. I am a Hufflepuff through and through, but I am working it in my own interpretation, which is why I chose the Charmed House, because of the familial aspect of the show, the sisterhood aspect, that kind of thing. I'm a fraternity brother, so to me it's the brotherhood aspect. But also, the interior is going to have some of the same secrets that Hufflepuff House has, where the interior is going to be a giant kitchen, where you're going to see, like, I don't know what kind of armor stand magic I can work, but I'm going to try. Like, there's going to be a giant kitchen, there's going to be several rooms, and I have a pantry downstairs, and there's going to be a common room area for students to be in there and stuff like that. So this is probably going to take me the entire season to do because of how intricate and how slow I am at doing stuff, but I'm very thorough. So there's that, as I take another swig of tea. But yeah, pretty much that's what I'm working on. Let me show you the first level of the basement. I just have to look for a hole that will lead me downstairs. Okay, this has the ladder that goes all the way down. So this basement, it has 4 levels. This is level number 1. This is the basic pantry. This is in progress as well. It's going to have spaces that will lead all the way upstairs. We did this in a recent live stream, where this is where all of my wood stuffs are going to be. I'm actually in the process of taking some of the terracotta I was given and lining it with yellow and white so that it looks like sun and clouds, because this does not look like a cloud. This kind of does, but everyone thinks of it as Vex magic if they're Hermitcraft fans, but I think I can get away with using this as a cloud of some sort. This here is very bright and sunny, so I'm thinking of mixing it with the yellow and making it very, very bright. So we'll see what I come up with. But all of my wood stuffs and everything else are going to go in here. And then along each of the other walls, I want to do some other mosaic of sorts, some other mural using the barrels as the inspiration. But I'm not exactly sure what those are going to be. I would like for them to be based off of what the containers will hold. Like, for example, the trees will have all the wood stuffs and wood-oriented or wood-adjacent kind of things. But the rest of it, I'm not entirely sure. I have to see what inspires me and what catches my eye. But that's level 1. Level 2 is down here. And this I haven't finished digging out yet. I think this is going to be my greenhouse, if you will. This is probably going to be the space where I grow everything from I don't know, from wheat and pumpkins and stuff like that. So I want to do an underground farm here of just various things. And I do everything manually. I don't really use redstone for anything. A, because I'm not really great at it, and B, because, well, there's that. Blonde says, oh, I'm going to go to bed because it's super late, but I hope you have fun, and I'm sure you'll make everything look incredibly detailed. Well, thank you, Blonde, and thank you for bringing your raiders here, and thank you for trusting your community with me. I will take very good care of them, I promise. Get some sleep, and I hope that, I hope I get to see you again really soon. As I continue the tour down here. This is level 3. This is the level that hasn't been messed with too much yet. This is kind of a mining area. So are you, Blonde. So are you. you are amazing too. And I'm pointing at you, even though you can't see it, but you are amazing too. This here is a ravine. Oh, wait, hold on. I just heard a witch. I do not need that kind of negativity in my life. But there's a ravine actually under my feet that I have completely blocked off all the way down to here because I didn't want to have to deal with creepers and everything else. I figure I can continue going forward and seeing how far the ravine goes, but one thing at a time. So everything here is lit up. There shouldn't be any zombies or anything like that, like no zombies or what have you. And then further down we go. This is the long end of the basement area. This goes all the way down to 11, and obviously there's a lot of digging out that has to happen yet, but I believe this is 11. Yes, this is 11. So that when I have some free time, or if I feel like streaming something where it's just a really chill stream, I can come down here. Like, see, there's some redstone here I haven't picked up yet, but I can come down here and just mine my cares away. And I might do that later this week because I haven't been down here very much and I don't want to be neglectful. But, you know, it's one thing at a time, to be perfectly honest. It really is. And, you know, that's the thing with Minecraft, is that you don't have to rush if you don't want to. And you really shouldn't. I just picked up Replay Mod, like I just downloaded it this week, and my friends who have more experience with it have been trying to teach me how to use it, and it's gone about as well as you would expect, which is not at all. However, it's amusing as heck to try to get me to figure out how to use it. It's ridiculously funny. I'm hoping that maybe later this week, Sassy, who was here earlier, she offered to walk me through some of Replay Mod's more complicated uses. And so I intend on taking her up on it so that I get accustomed to using it and thus not make a fool out of myself trying to do replay stuff. But aside from that, Friday night we play Among Us. Sunday mornings I do Sagrada. And then Tuesday nights I do Minecraft. Monday nights I sometimes do Minecraft. But I just stream whenever I can because it's very chill and it's my self-care. And if you have something that brings you joy and is self-care for you, then do it, and do it to your heart's content. So I have a couple of things that need doing. I need to take this staircase, fill it out, and replace it with quartz and then fill it out. I need to recreate the porch that I did. Hold on. You know what? There's a bunch of you who are new who didn't see this earlier, so let me show you. Okay, this is not where I want to be. So let me come back over here. Let me show you what I'm working on in terms of what the front of the house is going to look like. If you saw the picture I posted earlier, this is basically what I'm attempting to do. So I need 3 steps and the porch and then the rest of the house. So the terracotta has to be too high, and right now it's not. So I need to figure that out. But essentially, this is what I'm going for in terms of what the front of the house is going to look like. And it has that very Victorian vibe. So I have some crimson planks here to not just replicate the purple of the house, because it's a very distinct color, but also if you notice the house, it's like a purplish siding. And so the closest thing I can get to purplish siding is the crimson planks. And so I was experimenting with how the window that juts out on that one side, how to get it to look right. And I think I'm going to end up either using quartz to kind of, fill it out and get some of that detail in, or something. I haven't quite figured it out yet. So this is our creative world, and this allows us to kind of tinker with things. And what you see back there is a sneak peek of one of my upcoming episodes in terms of one of my builds that's coming up. My friend Mick, who's on the server with me, he built that for me so I could have the template, and now I just have to figure out how to do it. But this is the Shamblecraft server, as I said, and if any of you would like more information about Shamblecraft, I just put the information in chat, shamblecraft.net. That gives you all the information about us and the server and everything else. And it also gives you a way to join the Discord, Fally's Discord. You have to be on his Discord for 48 hours before you can get whitelisted. But also, Fally is a streamer, and he records his episodes live for the most part. So I highly encourage you to check him out and give him a follow. He has a mental health series where he talks about different things in terms of content creation and mental health and how to best take care of yourself in that respect, mainly based off of his own experiences and stuff like that. He's not a professional or anything, but he is a teacher. So he does have a unique insight into stuff like that. So I really strongly suggest that you go give him a follow and tell him I sent you. But yeah, I think we're gonna head back to the SMP. This is the Shamblecraft SMP. And as much as I hate to say it, because I just looked at the time and it's super late, I think I'm gonna call it here. I'm very glad for those of you who came in on a raid or saw me for the first time or whatever. Tonight we broke 1,500 followers on this channel, and I could not do anything like that without all of you. I really appreciate every single one of you and what you bring to the community and to the channel just by being in chat or lurking or whatever. You've made this entire experience so sweet, and I appreciate that greatly. But before I go, I just want to do that so that I can do this real quick. I'm gonna pass on my socials information. It would help if I posted the right bang command. That would be great. There we go. So yeah, I'm on Twitter and YouTube at NJ Coffee Junkie, and I am on Patreon. I have a Patreon. If you want to become a patron, that would be awesome. You can join my realm, Half Craft, at the $10 or greater level. And as mentioned, I have a Discord. The Discord invite is right there. You do not have to be a subscriber to join. You don't have to link anything. You just have to click that hyperlink, and it'll take you to the server. We talk about all kinds of things, not just coffee, but we talk about Minecraft. We play Among Us. We just have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun, and it's a wonderful, quickly becoming tight-knit community. But the more the merrier. Would love to have you. With that though, I am going to figure out whom we could raid. So let's see, twitch.tv. Let's make sure that I am muted, which is fab. Okay, who's streaming right now that I can send you to? Who can I send you to? I know exactly who I'm gonna send you to. I am gonna send you over to Manta DeRay. Manta was actually a co-judge a couple of weeks ago, or not even, yeah, a couple of weeks ago. No, wait, hold on, Manta? No, okay, hold on. I just saw, yeah, you know what? No, I said Manta. We're gonna go to Manta. Manta DeRay, he's a talented musician, but he's also a streamer, and he's playing Hades right now. Hi, Baron. Yes, I promise. I will. I'm going now. I'm going now. I'm going now. I did all of my prep. I cleaned today. I earned this extra time. It's fine. So I'm going to send you over to Manta DeRay. When you get there, I would like for you to I'd like for you to tell him that NJ's raid is freshly brewed. And here. I try to catch his karaoke streams. So tell him that NJ's raid is freshly brewed. I'm going to send you all over there. And last but not least, before I let you go, I just want to say that you're awesome. Wear your masks, wash your hands, and just be excellent to yourselves and to each other. I will catch you very soon. Have the most wonderful of nights. Take care. Bye.